The Best You is leading the way in the industry of personal and professional growth. Through our magazine, expos, e-learning, TV, club, and awards, The Best You's objective is to help people achieve their dreams, to do more, to be more, to live a life without limits. Join us if you believe in helping and inspiring others, in changing the world, in making it a more just and fair place through education and inspiration. Our goal: everyone, everywhere, now. If you are interested in making a difference, working, partnering, volunteering, supporting, or even licensing The Best You, let's talk. Let's work together and make the world a better place.
The Best You Online, featuring in-depth interviews, motivational talks, and inspiring masterclasses from the world's top experts, motivational speakers, business gurus, and thought leaders. Leaders and influencers from all over the world are here to share their knowledge and skills with you. The Best You Online is a priceless mine of personal development wisdom, knowledge, and practical information to help you take charge of your life and take you, your business, and career beyond where you have always wanted to go. The Best You Online.
The well-being industry is worth $3 trillion. Hi, I'm Bernardo Moy. I'm the founder of The Best You, and I wanted to share with you my vision, my dream, the concept of The Best You. The Best You is a multi-platform, global platform. Our first thing is The Best You Expo. Now, we've been doing this for the last 5 years, and over these last 5 years, we've had close to 70,000 people attend, and we promoted more than 700 speakers. Because we filmed every single event, we have more than 700 talks from world leaders, all in one library of content. The really exciting thing about The Best You is our growth strategy. Look, we're going to be running expos all over the world. We've done them now in London and California. We're exploring about running them in Miami. We're looking at running them in Canada, in Mexico. It's just the beginning. So this business model where we will license the Best You Expo will enable us, will allow us to attract more and more speakers, to attract the biggest brands, to attract all the thinkers that will want to be involved, not only in the local, but in the international reach and approach that we have. This will provide us phenomenal revenue and so much content through all the talks and all the different partners that we will have around the world. And there's so many opportunities for people like yourself, for you to be able to get involved in The Best You now. Thank you so much.
Now, the Best You Personal and Professional Development Virtual Expos are happening globally in 2021. Whether you want to speak, exhibit, or attend, these are online events for all those passionate about living a better life, creating a better world, gaining greater mindfulness and meaning in these new times, and becoming the best version of themselves. Book your speaking slot, your virtual booth, and get tickets to attend now.
What is life? Your life isn't just about what you're doing now. Your life is the sum of every hope you ever had and everything you ever wanted to be. Life is about the situations you deal with, how you get to where you want to be, and how you become who you want to be. Life is a collection of moments and memories. Life is about being alive, feeling alive. Life is about dealing with whatever fate throws at you. Life is about staying on top when things are challenging. Life is about enjoying yourself, about finding yourself, about leaving a legacy. Life is about looking and feeling good, about staying ahead. It's about being the best you. What you want, what we all want, is a life without limits. So why don't you be the best you?
Hello, we are back and we have our next speaker, who is Diana Lockett, and her talk is on Realign to Thrive, to build authentic embodied communication to empower your life. We are so looking forward to hearing your talk so that we can write down our notes and rewatch it.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here. This is a conversation, a topic that is really near and dear to my heart. I have many different hats that I wear. I have been a speech and language pathologist for 30 years, and my role in that time was to help children to access a voice. I work with nonverbal kids. And then I also went on to do yoga teacher training programs where I train people, particularly women, how to clear their energy centers so that they could find their authentic message. And now I coach people, and I do the same thing, helping them to find their message. My life wasn't always that clear, though. I grew up using a very common phrase that many people are taught to do. The phrase that I did was, when people said, "How are you?" my response was always, "I'm fine. I'm fine." And it didn't matter if I was fine or not. I said, "I'm fine." That was what I was taught to say. That was what I believed people wanted to hear from me. And by the way, if you don't know what the acronym FINE stands for, from the Aerosmith song in the 80s, on the inside of their album, they have the acronym for FINE, and it stands for effed up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. That was me. But I masked it with a smile. I masked it with a smile because I didn't know how to express what was true inside me, because I didn't know what was inside me. I lived in this narrow range of my life, but I didn't feel into my body. And so I had a lot of cognitive knowledge. I did a lot of education. I knew how to communicate, but I was communicating exclusively from here, and I didn't know how to feel the rest of me, to connect with my truth and my message. You see, when I was young, I was super exuberant and outgoing, and I loved to talk. I talked so much that my twin sister didn't speak till she was 4. She didn't have to. I did the talking for both of us. But then eventually I started hearing this message consistently in my life that Diana talks too much. Diana has too strong of an opinion. We always hear Diana. And it became this joke in my family, and it became such a joke that one year at Christmas, I received these little chatter teeth. I was 7 years old. And although I laughed along with my family, there was a really deep message that landed in me at that time, that my voice wasn't welcomed. And so I did what any 7-year-old would do. I shut down my throat chakra. The throat chakra is the chakra that is the energy centers of the body, and the throat is where we communicate. It's where we listen, where we speak, and it includes our ability to speak our truth, to know our clarity, to listen to others' perspective, to understand that really it's kind of all just perspective. My voice had such a longing to be heard, but I kept it shut down. And I can remember 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, coming home from school. And, you know, school kind of also taught me that, well, my voice is not really welcomed. So I kept it all in, and I would go home, and I would run through the door, and I would want to tell my mom about my day. I'd be so excited to share with her what happened that day. And she was asleep again on the couch. You see, my mother didn't have the tools to deal with life. So the tools came in medication, in the form of medication, and that knocked her out. And I remember standing in front of the couch, looking at her and wanting her to wake up to hear me. So once again, my voice was shut down. And I went through most of my life taking the experiences that landed in my field of awareness in my life, and I took them and I swallowed them down. And I don't know if any of you know that feeling of what it's like to swallow your words, to swallow your experiences, to swallow your truth. It's like a big knot right here. And the thing is, that knot also landed right here in my belly. This is the solar plexus chakra. This is your worth. This is your will. This is your gift. I shut this down, and I shut this down, and everything in between was shut down. And that's the heart space. What I'm here to share with you today is how you can build authentic and embodied communication to empower your life. How do we clear these energy channels? How do we change our mindset? How do we change our language, our beliefs, the structure of the life that we've been living to be able to step into our authentic communication and truth? It starts with having to recognize that we need clarity. And clarity doesn't just pop in one day and then that's it and we've got it and we move forward. Clarity is like a GPS system. We have to be able to move for the GPS to recognize that we're moving. If you're still, your GPS won't necessarily zone in on where you are and tell you where to go. But when you start moving one step or the wheels start turning, the GPS starts to read and it starts to guide you. In order to know what you want in your life, you need to take that first step. And then trust that the next step will reveal itself. Like the GPS doesn't give us the entire map in one big message. It gives us one step at a time. Turn left, turn right, go straight. And the problem is today in our world, so many of us, and I'm going to say so many women because I primarily coach women, don't take that first step. So the navigation system doesn't get turned on. And it doesn't know whether to go left or to go right. And we hold so much fear about, what if I make the wrong decision? And there's an expression, what if I fall? And my response is, oh, sweetheart, what if you fly? What are you holding inside? What gift are you holding inside? Because there's so much fear about expressing it. You don't know how to say it. You don't know what to say. And you don't know if it's going to be received. Communication is really three-part. It's our ability to speak. It's our ability to listen. And it's also, there's a big part about nonverbal communication. 55% of our communication is expressed through our nonverbal body language. People make decisions about what you're going to say and how it lands in their own systems based on your body language. And we have this mechanism in our mind called mirror neurons. And the mirror neurons give you feedback on an emotional level before your brain can even process the words that came out of someone's mouth. So we're constantly evaluating, getting information, giving feedback. But if we're living in this narrow range, in this brilliance of our mind, but we've denied our connection to our body, we fail to get the feedback to know, am I on the right path? Is this the right next step? How is my GPS and where is my GPS wanting to take me? I want to give you some tools today. I want to give you some tools. I want to move into some practices with you so that you can start to learn to soften the knots that are here. It's almost like something happened for me, age 7, I got those teeth and I shut down my throat. That's the knot that I feel in here. I feel it when I want to meditate, when I go to meditate rather. I feel it when I'm about to go into a stage and speak. It's like, oh, does anybody really want to hear what I have to say? Does it really make a difference? Maybe it's just easier if I retreat, I go back into my quiet little existence. But I know that I'm here for a bigger reason. And I know that you're all here with a purpose and a mission. We have a gap between the day you were born and the day you die. There's a gap. And who knows how long that's going to be. But we have this gap to fulfill. And the gap stands for grace, action, passion. And when you can find your way to your grace, your action, and your passion, you are living on purpose. And there's an expression that the purpose of life is to enjoy it. But if you're on a path and you're not enjoying it, how do you reset? How do you realign? How do you come back to your truth if you cannot speak your truth, if you cannot hear your truth, if you're landing in fear that's keeping everything bound and tight inside you? Because every time that something has landed in your system, I'm going to say as a trauma, and trauma is any time that the nervous system is overwhelmed and we don't have the capacity to deal with it. Maybe people in our world weren't able to hold space for us to deal with it. Maybe we didn't have the language to express it. Maybe we just couldn't take the time. And so what happens with trauma is we push it down and we turn off a little light bulb in our nervous system. It's like you're kinking a water hose. And eventually in your lifetime, those knots get tighter and tighter and tighter. And the way that I've learned to start to unwind my nervous system and start to soften those knots has been by moving into my body, by finding ways to bring relaxation into my body. Meditation is fantastic, and that's a practice I've done for 25 years, and I'm so committed to it. It's a daily practice. Meditation calms my mind. It brings me clarity in my mind, but it doesn't necessarily always connect me to my body. There's a particular way that I choose to connect to my body through stillness and movement, and I'm going to show you that in a few moments. What happens in our life is we kink our nervous system, and then we start building defense mechanisms, defensive strategies to be able to truly survive. So my defensive strategy was to shut down my voice, shut down my solar plexus, keep my heart nice and shielded so it didn't get hurt. That was a defensive strategy. And I don't want to make anybody wrong about that. That is okay. Please hear me. That is okay. That's what you needed to do to survive whatever you were surviving. And then take an exhale. It's okay. And today, you get a chance to maybe take a different perspective. Today, perhaps you can start to recognize and follow the breadcrumbs of your life and say, wow, that's why, that's how, oh my goodness, and give yourself love. It wasn't your fault. And it wasn't your parents' fault. Everybody does the best they can given their reality of the world in the moment. My parents didn't mean to give me these blocks in my nervous system and in my throat and heart. They did what they knew to do. They did what their parents did. And they did what their parents did. And we pass on generational habits, generational beliefs, generational trauma until you stand up and you say, no, it stops now. I had to take that stand because I have two beautiful children who are my greatest teachers. And I wanted to make sure that they always know that their voice matters, that who they are matters. And I want you to know that you matter. And your message, your voice is so important. And maybe part of your message comes through your mess, because there's a mess in message, and it takes courage. What happens when we have experiences growing up in this area called the throat chakra is it starts to shut down, and it shuts down typically when one is exposed to verbal abuse, physical abuse. I was told, I'll give you something to cry about. Stop crying. Stop crying. Crying was a communication, but it wasn't welcomed. It shows up when we're told to deny our truth. Maybe you had to keep secrets. Maybe you had to go to school and pretend that everything was okay when it wasn't. Maybe you were told not to express certain emotional ranges. We are meant to be felt sense beings. We have a massive emotional range that we can access, but we don't, because we're taught, quiet it down. So here's what you can access. And when you try to penetrate that and grow it a little bit bigger, you will be met with tons of resistance, and the resistance will be out there and the resistance will be in here because it will conflict with the value system that you were given. So we go back to playing small. We quiet our voice. And you know that the biggest fear that most women have is the fear of public speaking. Why? The world needs your message. You were here for a reason. And whatever mess was brought into your field of awareness, into your experiences, doesn't have to remain a mess. It can transform to your message. And it's such a beautiful gift when you can do that. Other things that impact the throat chakra is perfectionism. Now, I will totally admit I am a recovering perfectionist. I'm not there yet, but I'm on my way. I'm on my way to recognizing that what other people think about me is really none of my business. I'm also recognizing that I get to stay on my side of the street and not judge others for whatever they are doing in their life. Because remember, everybody does the best they can given their model of reality at the time. And we're all born essentially with innate goodness. Every single being that was ever born was a beautiful, healthy, gold essence child. Every one of us. Even if you're not feeling it right now, that is you. That never changed. What happened is we layered on conditionings and beliefs and fears and not enough, and all of those things led us to forget that there is golden right here. And it's longing to be expressed. When you can return to feeling this golden essence, you start to soften this entire channel of your body. And it becomes essential to be able to listen to yourself, to be able to listen to another without needing to judge or deny their truth, and to be able to fall in love with your voice. That's been my journey. The other area that typically happens to create tightness in our throat as we are growing up is if you were in a situation where you were asked to mask. So this is like, don't tell my truth, go out into the world, I'm fine. But perhaps you had just witnessed your parents having a massive fight, or there was abuse. Or perhaps your 12-year-old sister had just attempted to commit suicide. And when you called your parents on the landline, because this is before cell phone days, in my case, and said, there's something wrong, you need to come home from this wedding that you're at. And they said, we're coming. And I thought, oh, they're going to take care of this. Thank goodness it's out of my hands. I was only 11 years old. 11 years old. And I found my sister with a suicide note. My parents came home. I was so excited. They came home. They went into my sister's room. They told her to get dressed, put on her nicest dress, and come with them to the wedding. And then it was never mentioned again. That was the day that I realized that masks were part of my survival strategy, that what other people thought about me was more important than my own truth, than my own fears, than my own pain. And so I masked for a lot of my life. And I kept putting on layers and layers of masks. And I became a really good little girl. You know the one who's seen and not heard. Now, the interesting thing is, I went into a career to help other people find their voice. I became a speech and language pathologist for 30 years, and I still do that part-time, where I help nonverbal children to find their voice. Those nonverbal kids are me. There's a part of me that's in them. I have this really strong belief that I am you cleverly disguised as me. I am you cleverly disguised as me. What that means is that essentially, on a soul level, we all share pain, joy, love. We just have different ways of expressing it. And thankfully, we have these unique bodies that are, by the way, vessels, gifts to take care of, because these bodies are the way that we get to interact with the world. But there's part of me that's so similar to you. And these kids that I get to support in finding a voice, and sometimes their message is as simple as help. They push a button and they say help. I teach these little kids how to say help, a basic communication needs. But so many women that I work with cannot ask for help because they've been told, keep this shut down, do it all yourself, it's all on you, put on the fine face and go forward. And when you don't ask for help, you start to diminish and kink your nervous system even more. Your nervous system is your communication channel in your body, but you start losing touch with it because you're not asking for what you need to feel good in your life. So I want us to commit right now to pledge, hands up, pledge, one hand up, one hand on your heart. I will ask for help when I need it. I will swallow the pride. No, I will express the pride, and I will allow my voice to be heard. Because the shadow of the throat chakra being shut down, and the shadow is the disowned parts of ourselves, the parts of ourselves that we deem unlovable, so we work really hard to keep them away. And sometimes shadows could be emotional, energetic ranges like anger and grief, and sometimes it's like even a little bit more intense. And the shadow of the throat chakra is lying. Where are you lying to yourself? What are you denying yourself in your life right here and right now? What do you know? You know in your core that you're meant to be doing something, but you're denying it to yourself. Because there's a part of you that doesn't believe that you are worthy. There's a part of you that's decided that there's some core unworthiness, and that core unworthiness has become who you are. And so you step back, you play small, you shut down, and you move on with life, and you say, I'm fine. Core unworthiness shows up in our life because that is what our parents had in their life. They didn't mean to do this. Nobody means to do that. And to be honest, core unworthiness isn't something you put on you. It's just the situation or the outcome of the situations that you were in. The famous Sufi poet Rumi says, your task is not to seek for love, but to seek for all the barriers you have placed against it. I have revised that. And I ask for forgiveness from Rumi. But I really believe our task is not to seek for love, but to seek for all the boundaries that have been placed onto us that have protected us from feeling love. It's not your fault. Here's what I want you to know. When your throat is shut down, when your communication system is shut down, you will be unable to express your truth. It might lead to addictions, and the addictions in this area of your body are typically addictions to masking, to shopping, to lying, which means denying your truth, and to things like smoking and marijuana, things that sort of fill this part of your body. It starts with what I call the ABCs. If we want to move through this and start to heal and start to create a different reality, it starts with the ABCs. The A is awareness. So you're listening to this right now. You're here. Thank you. As you're here, I want you to take a moment, close your eyes, and start to feel as you move down from your head down your body, start to feel the area in your throat. And notice if there's any blockages, any tightness, any tension. And then move down to your heart and down to your belly and even down towards your pelvic area. And so as you feel this embodiment, this part of you that perhaps has been denied, no one in school teaches us how to feel our bodies. They teach us how to fill our minds. As you feel this, where do you notice any tightness, tension, closure? Or maybe you feel openness, joy, tingling, heat. These are all sensations of the body, and sensations are the language of the body. So we're not talking about emotional states. We're not talking about emotional labels. It's the sensations. So the ABC starts with A, and A means become aware of so much. Become aware of your body, what your body's holding. And if you don't feel anything, that's okay. Because sometimes our failure to feel is because it's too scary and painful to feel. So we shut down and we call that depression. And when you start leaning in and be willing to feel your body, you can start to open up, to notice. And when you feel, it's not with a sense of judgment. It's not, oh, there's that tension again, or there's that tightness, or why am I feeling this? It's like, wow, have a curiosity around it. What's going on here? Wayne Dyer said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And so with a willingness to move into the body and recognize it as a gift, you have this gift of embodiment. We are not meant to live here, just here. This is a beautiful, brilliant, genius part of who we are, but we're meant to connect it to our bodies. So become aware of what you feel in your body. And then become aware of your posture, your physical posture. So many people today, and I'm going to really say that technology has been a contributing factor to this. So many people are living their life like this, like this, like this. That closes you down even more. So lift up tall, wherever you're sitting right now, or if you're standing. Can you look down at your feet and align your feet forward? If we want to realign and adjust our GPS, it starts from our ground. And then draw energy up through your legs, up through your core, up through your heart. Lift your shoulders up and back, and then take your ears, nose, and throat back. So that your head, that's meant to be roughly 12 pounds in relation to what the workload or the force is on your spine, 12 pounds, bowling ball size. When we bring it forward 1 inch, it becomes 32 pounds. When we bring it forward 2 inches, which is very common, it becomes over 40 pounds in relation to the spine. So now your spine has to work so hard to support your head. And then energetically, when we're leading with our head, we are completely in the mind space and we've denied the heart space. So when you take your head back and you bring your shoulders back and notice if your belly popped up, pull your belly in slightly. And now your heart gets to be your guiding light. Your heart becomes your GPS. Your heart gets to feel, does this feel right or not? And then it starts to open up to allow the messages, the pathway of the throat and the solar plexus to communicate. And then you get these gut feelings in your belly that something's not right, and you listen. You listen to your inner wisdom. You have so much. You're so wise. But often we choose not to listen. This is part of our throat chakra blockage. So nonverbal communication is critical. Are you saying, I'm fine, with your hands crossed? And we see little kids do that all the time. I'm fine. Yeah, right. Notice how your body's holding itself. Are you open? Are you breathing? Can you feel your feet? These are all things that are going to bring you back into your body for your nonverbal communication. And when you can feel your body, you start to relax and you can feel other people. But it's not like you're taking on their feelings like this massive, overwhelmed empath that can't have boundaries between who you are and who the other is. This is like, I feel myself in my power, in my strength, in my knowing, and I can feel you through my body. So I have this BS detector that tells me your body language and your words are not congruent. So we get really good at determining that. A is awareness. The B is take a breath. I tell my clients and I tell my students, breathe and everything changes. One breath, as Eckhart Tolle tells us, is an entire meditation. So when you breathe, your entire physiology can change. And we have to do that because otherwise our biography becomes our biology. The experiences that we're holding in and tension and tightness and shutdown, our unwillingness to speak our truth and communicate our message from this deep place of embodiment starts to impact our bodies. And the research shows that up to 90% of disease and illnesses today are stress related, 90%. But if you don't know you're stressed because you can't feel your body, and you don't know you're tight and you're not sharing your truth, you don't get to make a change. So awareness, breath, and then there's 3 C's. 3 C's. Make a choice, to take a chance, to make a change. Make a choice to take a chance to make a change. And when you make that choice to create a change in your life, everything changes. Here's the changes I want you to consider. And these are just possibilities. You can take them, you can leave them. But if anything resonates, it's because you are me cleverly disguised as you. So we want to move from what we call the me stage. Reverend Michael Beckwith calls it the me stage, which is the victim stage. In the victim stage, you're using words like life is happening to me and why me and if only and if that hadn't happened, and we're using our communication to reinforce our victimization. That's 90% of the world. Catch yourself doing that. Catch yourself pointing fingers, blaming. When there's a finger pointing there's 3 more pointing at you. Notice when you use the word you, when you should be using I. So an example might be when you go to the store and there's lineups and it can be so frustrating and you don't know how long you're going to be there. That's a you statement that should be an I, because I'm giving you my personal experience. Own your communication. Using an I statement empowers your communication. Catch yourself. So when you start moving from stage 1 to stage 2, it's when you start changing a lot of your communication. And changing your communication will change your beliefs. But you have to catch yourself doing it. You have to be present. You have to be in your body to see the possibilities. So we move from stage 1 to stage 2. And in stage 2, you start to affirm what you want. You get clear. Your GPS starts to turn on. And remember, the GPS has to move. So you take a step in one direction. And you pause and you feel, does that feel in your body? Does that feel good? The mind will have its own entire experience separate from your body. The mind will say, perhaps fear, danger, not okay, don't know where I'm going. Feel your body. What is your body telling you? What are the messages? And you always get to come back. If it's the wrong path, you just readjust. It's okay. I've been on many different paths in my life. When you move into stage 2, you start noticing the self-talk, the talk that you use that is denying your beauty, your truth, your light, and your love. The talk that looks in the mirror and tells you you're not enough. Catch yourself. You are enough. You are that same beautiful golden essence child that was born however many years ago. You are enough. One of the things that I realized as I followed the breadcrumbs of my life was that I spent my entire life denying my voice until I was about 32, so 25 years ago. And yet I was in a career where I was helping other people find their voice through speech pathology, through yoga teacher training, through coaching. And so there's a sense that my purpose became really clear. I've been helping others to find their voice, to reveal their message, to get out what they need to get out the tension, get out the truth, listen to the world, listen to life, let life be your teacher. And for me, all of my purpose was my teacher, because in doing that, it helped to heal me. And now I listen. I listen, and I'm moving into stage 3 consciousness, which is where I believe that life isn't just happening for me, life is happening through me. And I listen so that I don't have to get the soul slaps when I don't listen. I listen to the wisdom of my intuitive inner body knowing. And I'd love you to take a moment now, if you are in a place that you can do this, is to close your eyes and place your hands anywhere on your body where attention is being called. And for a moment, just breathe, and everything changes. And if your body has a longing to move, which you'll notice I often do, just move into that longing. Part of the reason that we deny ourselves our truth is we don't know what we want because we don't listen to the wisdom of our body. So start to feel your body. Maybe notice 2 or 3 somatic sensations. Soma is body, so this is the sensations within your bodies. And without judgment, just allow them to be. Oh, yes. I noticed that. Wow. Great. Take another deep breath in. Exhale. Keep your eyes closed, and as you feel your body, I want you to allow one intuitive pop-up, which is something your mind comes up with, a message for you right now. What do you know is longing to be expressed in your life today? What have you been denying being expressed? In essence, denying the world from having your wisdom, hearing your message. Every single dream started with a belief, with a thought, with a step, with a movement. Where are you denying your dreams? Where are you denying the world hearing you, feeling you, receiving you? And then from that place, I want you to step into your heart space with your awareness and notice, what are you grateful for in this moment? What are you grateful for? Because gratitude is the practice that absolutely and always attracts more things to be grateful for. And finally, what do you need? We often deny this in personal development. We get into our mind space, we want to change the mindset, we want to go full force, but it's not sustainable, because if we cannot acknowledge how we're doing and what we need, we will burn out. What do you need right here and right now to be able to stay in a state of gratitude for now and express the wisdom that came through you? Take a breath in and out. Beautiful. You can go ahead and open your eyes slowly. So remember, I was taught I'm fine. Some days I'm still like that. Some days I still feel very messed up. The difference is I don't make myself wrong for being there. It's okay. Some days I'm brought to my knees, and it's okay. I give myself permission to be there, and then I get to decide how long I want to be there, and I step back up. I step back up because I know in my heart that my experiences do not define me. My experiences refine me and have the potential to catapult me to my deepest purpose. I'd love to finish by reading a letter that was written by my mother, who passed away almost 11 years ago to this day. My mother, who I loved so much, but my mother who always denied her truth and her voice. And so that was the imprint that I got. And I had to make a decision to do it differently. I had to make a decision to step into the unknown, to step into the fear, to feel my body, to let my body tell me, is this the right thing for me? Not my mind, my body. And my mother, who I believe contributed because she didn't know any better to shutting my voice down, wrote me this letter the week before she died. And I read it many times back then, but there was a sentence at the bottom. There's a PS that I don't think I ever recognized. And I believe when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I found this letter about 2 weeks ago when I was packing up because I'm moving. And I reread it, and I want to read it to you. She says, Diana, what a strength you were. And I'm going to say her letter was written in shaky writing because she is just coming to the end of a really courageous battle with brain cancer. What a strength you were. You made our life easier to live through. I hope what you give to others makes up in your life in return, and that all your wishes come true. I love you. You are so beautiful. And you have 2 great kids. She finished with this PS. This is the part I didn't see until 2 weeks ago. PS, keep talking. I never thought that my mom knew what I did. I never really talked to her about my jobs. I never talked to her about my voice, my throat, my shutdowns, my openings, my process. But she recognized it. And so my message to you from my mom and through my heart is keep talking. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you for listening. And if you need to reach me, you can reach me at dianalockett.com. I run programs to help women to empower their voice, to refine their messaging, and to show up in the world from a place where they are fully embodied and safe and heard. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Very, very powerful, absolutely powerful. And I resonate with so much of what you said. And the girls that are in the back office are just like texting, going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Because I talk about energy all the time. And we do have trapped energy within our system. We do make blockages. And for us to allow ourselves to move forward, we need to release and we need to let go. And we need to go through these healing transformations and just recognize these blockages and accept and let go. And it's something that I say to people all the time. So it is a breath of fresh air to come and watch and listen to someone who understands, because sometimes when I tell people about trapped energy, they just look at me and they're like, but it's mind, body and spirit. We can let go of what's going on in here, but we need to let go of what's going on in here as well. So that is absolutely amazing. And to have you come along and speak and just put it out there, clearing this throat chakra, that's what it's all about. It's amazing. And I do resonate with this throat chakra. I've never done any hosting or any like filming at all because I was hiding, and I cleared it the night before we were going to come on air, and I'm flowing.
That's amazing.
It's powerful stuff. And really, you're just like, ooh, and I'm like, yeah.
I've got out of it so much. Just tears in my eyes right about now. It's just like you've got such a beautiful spirit. The way that you come across, it's going to be healing to the nation. I know we're in the Women Empowerment Zone, and I'm just really hoping that this goes out to men and women and children, because when you was talking about this from childhood, it made me reflect. And, you know, I kind of sit here and recognize there's still some things that need to be cleared. You know, I closed my eyes when touched the heart, went through the process, and you just tap into yourself. So, you know, when we have speakers and they're guiding us through, get involved, because you will only find yourself and get the answers that you need from within. So I got healing from your talk. I can really. That's
so great. And I want to acknowledge that all healing has its time. And when I started my healing journey, which was about 25 years ago, I kind of started to wake up. I was on a time schedule. I was on a timeline. I have 3 months to heal. And now I realize all healing has its time. And typically what happens is, and this is for anybody who's thinking of stepping into a role where they're going to be speaking in front of people, coaches and speakers and leaders in any way, as soon as you go to step into that, that's where you're going to be met with the resistance. And that's the healing opportunity. Feel it, feel the fear, and do it anyways. Take that step. That's when the GPS turns on, and trust that the rest will come on. I don't have notes when I'm speaking. I really trust that I take that step, and there's a sense of grace speaks through me that what's meant to be heard, what's meant to be shared will unveil itself, will be shared. So I'm very passionate about this work, and I'm very passionate to help people move through their blockages, their limiting beliefs, their embodiment, what they're holding as tension and tightness that's keeping them from showing up in the world. We can't just work on the mindset. And that's why the work that I do is called Embodied Consciousness and Embodied Mindset. We need to bring us together. We are embodied beings. And so we need to use this as our radar, as our GPS, as our feedback mechanism. How am I doing? Because the mind will always create a story. And by the way, we all have stories. We all have narratives. But are you willing to release them from here, to step into your greatness?
Wow, amazing. Diane, did I read you've wrote some books as well?
So I have one solo book in process right now, and it's a part memoir, part embodiment coaching. And the name of that book right now, what I'm playing with, is The Gold is in the Darkness, because I've done a lot of work with shadows. Shadows are the disowned parts of ourselves. And so that book's not published yet. I was a published author in a compilation book from the Ignite series, and the book was called Ignite Female Changemakers. So it's 50 international women who have been recognized as creating some change in their lives and in the world to empower others. So we came together and wrote this book, and that was an incredible experience, because my friendship and my client group grew internationally, and these women are fantastic, and each of them. That book, I believe, is on your site, where all my information is posted. And that book, every single story is different. And what I love about it is every one of those women had to find some courage to share their story. And I have a lot of people who have stories and have gifts, but they'll say, I can never share my story. And I really believe that when we share our stories, we open up our authenticity. And we give other people permission to do the same. And it doesn't mean that my stories were worse or more traumatic than anybody else's. It's just that I'm willing to use my stories to serve other people. In essence, my pain becomes my purpose, and my mess becomes my message. And so this book with 50 authors has been incredible, because some of them are not speakers. Some of them own dance studios, or are moms, or are moms of special needs kids. And they're all coming together to share these beautiful messages about we all can contribute to change in the world. And the change and your leadership might be that you're leading a family, or it might be that you're leading a massive organization, but we all have the potential to make a difference.
And it's all these ladies out there, and us women, we've all been through something. And I feel with a lot of people that I coach, they get to a point where they're ready to accept and talk about it. It's what part of the journey that are they on? It's this massive healing process. And all of a sudden they go from, I can't talk about it, or I don't want to tell anybody about it, till it's there. And then the journey they've been on opens up the healing and allows other people to go on their healing journey. The energy is so important, because people do not realize there's a collective world of energy out there. And when you acknowledge it and you allow it to let go of it, that's when you become a free-flowing source. And the universe just starts opening up for you. And I know everyone says about, a law of attraction. It's more than a law of attraction. It's that cellular level. It's the energy and the traps energy that we have from past traumas, even from past lives. We bring that all to this lifetime. I know I've done personally a lot of healing, but that's what I needed. And there was a lot of things for me to acknowledge and heal along my journey. And it is so wonderful now, more and more people are becoming open to this, because it is moving people forwards. And doctors go, you'll never get over this, and you'll never get that. It's just going to be that way. And then we go deep within inside, and we meet people who inspire us and show us a different way. And we heal ourselves with the help of others. So what you do is just so amazing. The way you connect your energy with other people, and how you've come to the Best Expo. I hope we see you at the Empowering Women Global event next year, and many more talks with the Best Expo, because it's what people need to hear. Ladies need to hear it, and men. We do come across men. We're not going to leave these out just because we're doing Empowering Women, and children.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really feel we're doing this work for the children, right? If we can clear our own limiting beliefs, our own shutdowns, our own disconnects, our own lack of relationship with our heart, if we can heal that, we start to heal our children.
Yeah, totally understand
And they're the future. They're the future. My kids have freedom of expression in my home. They can say whatever they want to say, and there will never be consequences for them speaking their truth. What if that became the new norm? What if we could get over our own roles and limiting beliefs and of how children should be? I always say, why are we shoulding all over ourselves? If we got rid of that and said, darling, tell me your truth, and I can hold it and I can receive it, and I still love you. I even love you more because of your truth. What if we could share it with each other and end our shares with, I'm okay, you're okay, and we're okay no matter what was shared. Yeah, there's a lot of work still to be done, and I'm so grateful that there are organizations and platforms like this. And I mean, truly, this virtual COVID experience has made this more possible for people, I think, to be here. And I do want to let your listeners know that I will be speaking at 7 a.m. my time. So I think it's 12 o'clock your time tomorrow in the mentor room. And I absolutely would love to be back. I think this is a beautiful platform, and I love the opportunity for people to come together and have these conversations.
It's been amazing to have you. Ruth, I know you're just like, wow, at the moment. You're just like,
I'm taking it because it was just, I wrote my stuff down, but I had a shift in that moment. And I think when you touched on the children, there's something about it that just gets to my heart chakra, and it brings tears to my eyes. So I'm paying attention, I'm listening to that. And even when you was talking, an idea popped in my head that I'm like, I've got to write this down. And so I know it's because I've gone through whatever you've been doing, a shift's happened, it kind of opens you up to things. So thank you so much. And I hope to see you tomorrow, because I feel gravitated to you, Diana.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you so much, Ruth.
Take care.
It's been a pleasure.
So before we have our next speaker that's on at the top of the hour, we're going to head over to a quick commercial, and then we will introduce our next speaker.
I had my first baby when I was 19, Rebecca. And I suppose that was very, very young back then. But she gave me the sort of drive and enthusiasm to work harder, because I then, had a small mortgage, a tiny mortgage, I think £38,000. And I thought, this is huge. How am I going to pay this? And I wanted to give her the things that I didn't have when I grew up. And after she was born, I got a job in Labatt's, the beer company, as just an admin girl. And I was so bad at that as well, because I couldn't type to save myself. But I set myself a goal that I wanted to get up to the top of Labatt's within 4 years. And I actually did it within 3 years. I was sort of heading up Scotland's sales and marketing. And I absolutely loved it. So I had a plan, and I worked exactly to that plan. And I still have a plan every single day of what I want to do in life, both personally and both in business.
So this was you going out one night, very uncomfortable with the girls, and you said there's got to be something more comfortable that we could wear. And you came up with the idea of developing or creating something that you had no experience with.
That's right. I went to a dinner dance, and I was wearing a very uncomfortable cleavage bra. And I thought, why should women go through all this pain for a tiny bit of gain? And I took the bra off in the toilets. It was that uncomfortable. And I went back to the table with all of my friends, and I said, I'm going to invent a bra, start a business on Monday. And they said, well, what do you know about bras? You haven't been to college. You haven't been to university. And I says, well, I've got a pair of boobs and I'll work it out. That's what I did. For 3.5 years of my life, I invented Ultimo, the first world gel fill bra. And I went to the Prince's Trust and they gave me some help, and they gave me a mentor as well. And, you know, thousands of prototypes later, from playing around with the bra, and I wanted to, with the first gel fill bra, I wanted to create basically a boob job bra. And 3.5 years later, I got all my friends and family into my bedroom, and I asked my Auntie Joan to try it on first. And she says, well, why me? I said, well, if I can give you a cleavage, it will be a miracle. So she went in and she came out of the bathroom and she had a massive cleavage. And that's when I went down to Selfridges, the department store.
So you developed your bra.
Yeah.
You have no way, you don't know how you're going to sell it, but you thought, I'm going to go to Selfridges and sell it there. I love the story. You just popped in there and decided to share your idea and your dream.
Yeah, I've always been told by my mum and dad, you know, it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what education you managed to get. It doesn't matter the colour of your skin, your religion. If you have that dream, passion, determination, can-do attitude, you can achieve anything that you want to achieve. And they've always taught me to think big. So I thought, well, I could go to small boutiques and I could sell my range through there, but minimum order quantities is going to be a massive issue for me. So I just turned up to the buying office in Selfridges, the biggest, most prestigious department store in the UK. And I didn't have an appointment. I just had a bag of bras. And I said, I'm here to see the buyer. And she says, do you have an appointment? And I said, no. And she says, well, you won't get to see her. And I said, well, you don't understand. This is 3.5 years of my life in this bag. I'm heavily pregnant with my third baby. I'm £480,000 in debt. And this is the best cleavage bra ever. I need to see the buyer now. Anyway, half an hour later, after trying to persuade her, and I think she felt sorry for me, the buyer came down and tried the bra on, and boom, I got into Selfridges. So I suppose when I'm mentoring people in business, I say to them, you know, you've got to approach people. You've got to get yourself out there. Don't sit on your backside and wait for them to come to you, because it ain't going to happen.
I guess the first thing to say is don't even think about it unless you've got a passion for it, because you need that passion oozing out of the pores of your skin. You know, if you're going to convince people, whether they're people to invest in your business, whether they're customers or whatever, that passion's got to be infectious. If it's not there, don't even bother, almost. But saying you've got that passion, what needs to go with that is the real focus. And I guess for me, an awful lot of us see that end objective perhaps as being the goal, but I see it as lots of end games, and you've got to go a step at a time and have an end game. You've got to say, that's the goal I'm going, that's where I want to be in 3 years' time. But then you've just to work out the steps along the way and be disciplined about that, really going for it. You need good advice. You need good advice around you. It's very easy to get hold of someone, if you like me, someone of our sort of background who can just give you a bit of advice and just avoid you going into the elephant traps, you know? So focus is important. A bit of advice is important. That's objective, wholly objective, unsentimental advice. And you probably won't get that from your family. And the other thing is this can-do attitude. You've got to be tenacious. Never, ever take no for an answer. I mean, never. And I really mean that. Never take no for an answer. Just keep going at it. You've only got to read some of the books of people like Richard Branson or whatever, and how they got where they've got. And I guess tenacity was one of the big assets they all had. Don't allow yourself to get knocked back. Yeah, it's hell. Being rejected is hell, whether you're being rejected by a financier or a client or whatever. But you've got to handle those knocks and get through it, and you've got to really be tenacious about it. And I think the other thing, I'd say is you've got to have a smile as well. Don't make it too difficult. I was really intrigued. I picked up a bit of research recently, which was done in the business world, why people follow other people, and it was something like 90% or 95% said, I follow people because they're feeling of fun, energy, and excitement. That's what people want. And that's what you as a leader need to exhibit, fun, energy, and excitement. And an awful lot of that comes from really loving what you're doing, and going for it. And then getting those people around you who complement your skills. I think that's the other trick. They don't necessarily have to work for you, but people around you. recognize the areas you're weaker in. And I don't mean necessarily just the technical skills, but it may be the people skills as well. It may be the emotional intelligence side. Make sure you've got people around you that complement whatever it is you're doing, and then go for it.
Why is Virgin such a loved or, you know, admired brand in many ways? What's your take on that?
It's been about building a business for consumers and addressing consumers' needs, whatever the segment's been. I think Richard has liked the whole taking on David and Goliath. So it was taking on BA and actually making BA a better airline. It was about taking on the big telecom companies, the mobile companies, and creating a funky mobile brand. He, with his management teams and with people he's put in businesses, maybe like me, has been able to, and it's quite ephemeral. I don't know. It's very hard to pin down. You get asked this question all the time, but we seem to be able to attract and motivate and keep people really loyal to the companies they work for. And I mean, travel is a tough business and a tough segment. You don't earn fortunes in travel. And yet we have got and had amazing staff at Virgin Atlantic over the years. And sometimes we had to put the brakes on a bit, like after 9/11, and people would leave. And we had at least 2 redundancy programs during my time there. And that's never easy to deal with. You have to do it quickly and humanely and not damage the company. And then people would go away and they get other experience and they come back and they go, you know, when we were here, we didn't realize that actually this is a really great place to work. So it's fascinating how you bottle that up and what it really is. And maybe that's one of the things for me to think about a bit more now. I've got more time, but you're always on a charge. But it's certainly been there and we've kept it all the time. We're very conscious of the staff. We always had many, many more ideas than we could ever practically implement or practically justify. But I liked always challenging and trying to come up with the new ideas and doing things differently. And I think that's what consumers like. And that's one reason why Apple's been so successful, hasn't it? That it's always surprised and delighted people. And I have views about research, for example, that when people say, well, you've got to go off and research what consumers want. I don't think you do, because I don't think consumers know what they don't know. And if I asked you 10 years ago whether you'd have wanted half the things on your iPhone today, you said, oh, I don't need that, I just need a phone. So I think companies have to be visionary and they have to push ideas. Yes, go and validate them through research. Go and see, actually, is it going to work? Do consumers want it? But I could tell you so many stories about things that we put into research that consumers said, oh, no, we don't want that. And then we did it anyway. And then they went, wow, we love this.
I mean, this first ever boss of mine, Arthur Shilliter, was someone I kept in contact with. And he was a bit of a mentor to me, I have to say. And he was really, really valuable. But
what did he teach you, if I can ask you? What did you learn from him?
You know, just for example, give you a great example, Bernardo. Something that he did that I've sort of tried to emulate ever since. If ever you were in a meeting with Arthur with a third party, and it might be a customer, it might be a supplier or an inspector, within an hour afterwards, on your desk would arrive a handwritten note, and it would say, "Dear Roger, thank you so much for your contribution to the meeting. I really appreciate it, Arthur." And, you know, as a young lad, your chest would go out, your shoulders would go back. There was nothing I wouldn't do for Arthur Shilliter. And it was a big lesson to me, you know, nothing to do with money, nothing else, just a bit of praise and a bit of recognition. And, you know, for all of us, I think that's incredibly valuable. I don't think today any of us praise each other enough. And it's not just the people who work for you. You know, there's nothing wrong with praising your boss if he's done a good job, because it's pretty lonely the higher you get. There's nothing wrong with praising your peers and saying, well done, that was a great idea you had. But I don't think any of us do enough. And it was something Arthur really taught me there. And I guess the other word was that he cared, or you felt like he cared. He cared about you and what you were doing. I mean, equally, he'd give you the hand smacks you needed occasionally and all that. But he, for me, was just a role model that I've always kept there ever since, I think.
Sure. Many, many, many years from now, what would you like your legacy to be?
I would just love to inspire as many people as possible, especially from deprived areas, for them to look up to me and say, well, if she's managed to do it, to build these successful brands and, you know, get an OBE and in the House of Lords and everything else, and she's from an area where we live in, then we can do it too. There ain't no secret, you know, if you just work hard. I always say the harder you work, the luckier you become. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you so much for watching Inspiring People. Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to the Best You Expo Live. Wow, we've had such a fantastic day today and we have got so much more. Our next guest is just, I'm still blown away from yesterday. She had so much soul, passion, energy, high vibrational. It is Dr. Shirley Clarke.
Hello, Sarah.
Oh, I'm so glad you can come back today, because the people that weren't here yesterday need to see you today, because you were just like awesome. No way to put it. And
I've told my family, I said, tune in. I sent them a message. I said, Dr. Shirley Clarke is coming on.
It was like,
you can hear me.
I'm going to try to tone it down a little bit, Ruth and Sarah. Don't tone it down.
No. This room, this platform has been on fire today. We'll leave it to you. We'll leave it to you.
Oh, wow. Thank you all. Wow. Woo. Well, I am back again. Like they said, I am so excited to be with my new Best You Expo family. This is my first time being with the Best You Expo, being here and being a speaker. And I was introduced to the Best You Expo, I think about 3 years ago, and they were just coming into the U.S. And so I'm so excited to be with them for the first time as a speaker. And today I'm going to be talking about how to release the greatness within you. And let me just see my time. I want to make sure I stay good to my time. But I have been doing a lot of training over the last 10 years or more about this whole thing about releasing the greatness in your life, because of where I've been, being reared in gross poverty, and then coming to the point where I married up and got the American dream, found out it was an American nightmare, and turned out to be an American debt dream. And so I had to crawl my way out of that situation. I had to figure out how even in the midst, I could hear inside of me that there was something great beyond me being tied up in debt, needing to file bankruptcy, but I just felt like it was not it. And then I was, for some reason, this little country girl, I tell people all the time, somehow I always went, no matter what I got in, where I went, I would always come to the top. And listen, I didn't have the best voice. I didn't have the best speaking ability. I didn't come from, of course, my pedigree was just terrible in regards to no one in 4 generations had a higher educational degree. My parents, my father was illiterate and an alcoholic. My mother only had a 6th grade education. So, not a good beginning. So I learned something along the way, and that's what I want to share with you today. It's truly not about your past. It is about your prophetic destiny. And I want to say immediately, though, that everybody was born with greatness within them. And so that is the number one point I want to bring out today when we begin to talk about releasing the greatness that is within you. And let's just back up just a little bit, because I found out people don't always know when you say things like, I've done great things. What does that really mean? I just told you about my past. I'm the youngest of 7. There were days that the water was off, and other days the lights was off. We just went back and forth, always in a survivor mode. I finished high school not knowing how to write a complete sentence. Now today I own a writer's agency. I ghostwrite for people. I've done some ghostwriting for not just Amazon, but a New York Times best-selling author. And I'm here beyond the poster child for hope. I am your advocate for your greatness. Whatever people say, what you've been through, I'm coming to tell you that your life can shift just by making a decision and knowing that you will call for greatness. Just so you know, here's some of the things that blew me away. That even knowing where I came from, what I found myself, one day I was in the grocery store and my phone rang, and I was like, "Ooh, this is an odd number." It was they called and said, "Hey, I'm so and so. I'm calling from the White House." I got a call from the White House. I'm thinking, "Oh my God, I'm going to jail." Is this really real? The number was odd. And they mentioned someone name, which I knew was a sponsor that I know that always kind of opened some incredible doors, but never I thought the White House would be calling me, a woman that grew up in gross poverty, could not pronounce words because I had a poverty mentality. And not only I tell people I wasn't just broke, I had a poverty mentality. And what I was doing in my 20s, mid-20s, kids got to do when they were 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And so it is about where your community, what you nurture, your environment. For me, was all of that. But one day I was in the grocery store and the White House called me and they invited me to go to the Capitol the next morning to go and hear the U.S. Attorney General. He was speaking. Another time, the governor office called me and said, "Listen, the governor's going to be in your area." I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And they said, "I'm calling from the governor's office." He was running for office that time. And then they called and said, "Hey, he's going to be in your area for 2 weeks from now. And we need permission for him to come to our church." And we have a very huge church. The pastor's well-known, governmental stuff he's done, TV shows and a lot of different things. And I'm thinking, me of all the people, little me, I'm getting a call from the governor's office to open a door for the governor of the state of Texas to come to my church. And I mean, when you get these moments like this, you know that you think about the little girl that were way back 5 years old that was had to be put in caregivers' hand, caregivers, because the mom and daddy separated. My father was alcoholic. As I said, my mother needed to leave that relationship and she left 7 kids behind. And here I am now, the White House calling me one time to go and hear the U.S. Attorney General. Then the governor's office calling me to see if he could perhaps get permission to come to my church 2 weeks from that time. Then one time I've got an opportunity to speak. I got a text to speak on the stage just before, like with Lisa Nichols a few years ago. Wasn't this year, I think 2018. We were moving up in the speaking arena, and I felt that I was just introduced to Lisa, and I was hearing her name for the past 2 years or more, maybe 3. And I felt like it was time for me to be on that stage. And I remember laying on my bed saying, I just felt that was that moment for me to move as a speaker. And I received a text and said, "Hey, so-and-so is considering you to be on the stage with Lisa, be able to speak." Phenomenal opportunity. And then I business partner with some of the greatest in North America for the largest business seminar for African Americans that Forbes magazine called it the 5th largest entrepreneur meeting networking conference for African Americans to attend, the 5th largest for entrepreneurs. And so I now stood on the stage with him, the calls I would get. And so what I'm trying to say to you, and even for those who don't know in this area, the Rosa Parks Institute, the big thing about Rosa Parks sitting on the bus, I received a call years ago from President Barack Obama. He was first installed in office when he was elected. I got a call just before that institute wanted me to head up a huge national prayer coordinator to pray for the president for threats for 381 days. I were to leave that. And, when I think about things like that, and then being part of the NFL Gospel Super Bowl concert, being called to serve that community, I think about the little girl that was in the back seat from 5 to 8, sitting, away from my mom for 3 years. My mother has left my dad, and she had to leave all her kids with someone. And I think about me growing up in gross poverty, being able to see the tobacco fields and cornfields. And now I'm at this point. And so I recognize is that I have a divine calling on my life. And everybody has a divine calling on your life. So the first thing you have to recognize, if you're going to release the greatness in your life, you have to realize that divinity is always working. If you are a human being, you was made for more. You was made to be great. And all of the things that have happened to you, your past, your bad experiences, your losses, your disappointments, had made you think that you were not called to greatness. But I'm here to tell you today, it's not about what you've been through. It's looking through the lenses of your divine calling and saying, I was called for greatness. How do you know? Because inside of every person, there are seeds of greatness inside of you. And I tell people, it is what you do with those seeds that will determine your outcome. I love what Zig Ziglar says. He was a motivational speaker, leadership in the area of, as far as motivation, being a motivational speaker. He trained speakers, travel all around the world. And he says this, he says, God starts us all out with the necessary ingredients within us to succeed. He also says, man was designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and endowed with the seeds of greatness. So I tell people, it's what you do with those seeds. So I'm trying to tell you right now, you can stop these seeds from being aborted now. If these seeds that are inside of you, those seeds of greatness, I come to tell you that every seed that's been aborted, every seed that's been hindered, every seed that is sitting on the wrong ground right now, and I say on stony ground, it can be planted today in the right soil, and it can release your greatness in the earth. If this little girl, 5 feet girl, could come up to a point where the White House would call and invite me to hear the U.S. Attorney General, I come to tell you today, as a speaker at the Best Expo, I heard my partner said, you can be the best you can shift this thing right now. You can turn this dial by making a decision today. Say, I'm not going to let my past hinder my future. No matter, I'm going to have a different outlook. I was made for more, and I'm getting ready to change my destiny. Why? Because I come to tell you, it's about you having the right vision for the right season that you're in. As I close, let me share this with you. I was sitting in a dead end job in January, I'll never forget, in 1995. I couldn't even I was at about less than $23,000. That was the largest I could get without going back, getting a master's degree in that area, and to come out making $35,000. That didn't work for me. And somehow I just knew I didn't know how to get out of my situation. I didn't know how to change it. But I remember setting up an interview a seminar for a lady. I was working in the community information area, and I was over people coming to set up workshops to use our facility. And one of the workshops dealt with setting up your life mission, And so when I went into that workshop, I had no idea what it was going to be like. And it was about writing out everything about your life, what you want to do, time frame, deadlines, what you would do with your time, and what tools you would need to make it happen. And I remember writing that I wanted to be full-time. I wanted to come home. I wanted to do this, how much we would need to make it happen. We were doing paycheck to paycheck type deal. I wrote everything down, deadline, timeline, what I needed. I even wrote that I wanted a car, Mercedes-Benz. I didn't know. I just saw it when I was 15, and it looked beautiful. It wasn't even about status at the time. I was a little girl, and it turned out what I saw was a car. Really, be honest, was a drug dealer driving. But I just liked the car. And I remember in my sight saying, oh, that's a nice car. And I remember writing it down, the car. I wanted to come home full time, whatever. And I want you to know the fact that I wrote it down, I had no idea. All I know, I just kept muttering over it in my spirit. I want you to know from January until April, I had moved from from another state to Texas. In 3 months, that thing happened. And I found out that 97% of the time, when something you write it down, I did not know this. It says 97% of the time, maybe 95 to 97%. It says that when you write something down, you causes it to just manifest quickly. And my husband received a call from someone that recommended him for a job. He turned it down. So I knew it was something working on my behalf. And I was disappointed. He turned it down 2 times. The 3rd time, the man called and said, what would it do for you? What can I do for you to take this job? And he wrote, it was like a blank ticket for him. And the amount he asked for, they gave it to him. They gave him a bonus, did a full relocation package for us. I came home. I've been home for 26 years. I never went back in that working field, corporate America, for 26 years, and I'm never going back now. So what I'm saying to you is inside of you a greatness. And so over 10 years ago now, I began to take it to another level. And now I started a business in 2000. And then 20 years later, now I'm servicing millionaires, 6, 7, 8 figures. Listen, here's the thing I want to say. I'm going to give you some points about vision. I had to create another type of vision for my life. I had to know that I will call for greatness. And I want you to know inside of you are seeds waiting for you to develop. See, rich people educate themselves, poor people entertain themselves. So I read books that would increase my knowledge. See, we get paid for 2 things on our job, what we know and our skill sets. And so I recognize you don't know what you don't know. So I found that out. So I said, well, wait a minute. I don't know what I don't know. So I need to begin to read so I can know what I don't know. Listen, here's a few things. Okay, I got a few more minutes. Here's some things I want you to know if you're going to release the greatness within you. Number 1, vision doesn't just happen overnight. It's a process. That means you got to have another vision for yourself. And then for it to work in your life, you got to know there's a process. I learned it was in 2010. I learned that when the day that you make a decision about you becoming wealthy, it's the day that the universe will come in alignment with you to make it happen. I'm going to say that again. I learned in a book that it says that the day that you decide, see, so many of you are vacillating between what to do and what, that's the problem. You got choices in your life. See, I was too broke back then in 2010 to worry about all the broke people around me, what people would say. I had to make a decision. The book said, if I want to be rich, if I want to be wealthy, I got to stop vacillating. I got to stop worrying about all the people trying to look cute at the red carpet event. And most of us couldn't write a check for $1,000. And so we can upload those pictures, take a picture at the red carpet, upload it to Facebook, look good, because y'all at this award show. I cut all that stuff, that broke stuff out. All that stuff looking good, but I'm broke. And so I decided I'm going to read. I'm going to put something in my mind. I'm going to start the process of my wealthy place. It said that I've got to decide. And I decided, I'm saying to you, sisters, today is your day. You can change your broke, if your bank account, if your mind, if your family is not what it wants, come on, I need you to change the vision inside of you. Listen, vision is absolutely necessary for your survival. I had to see something. I had to know something. I put my whole house on the rest. When it told me I have to decide, the day that I decided to be a millionaire, I put signs up all over my house, on my husband's side of the mirror in the bathroom. My wife is going to be a millionaire. My side, I'm going to be a millionaire. I put it in my children. Oh, my mom going to be a millionaire. I put it on my refrigerator. Listen, hey, if you too cute to be crazy for a moment to get your wealth to place, then you too cute. Then you're going to stay broke. Listen, last thing, a couple of things I want you to know is that vision is getting you to think big. You got to think big. If you want the greatness to come out of you, you got to think big. Hey, the good book says that God is able to do exceedingly abundant above all that we can ask or think. So if you're thinking small, listen. If you're thinking big, he's bigger. That's all. Think big and let him, the universe, come in alignment to push you through. As I close, it said vision never becomes a reality without action. Some of y'all want to eat popcorn and watch TV all day long. It's not going to happen. I love what Grant Cardone said as I shared the stage with him a week or so ago on Clubhouse. Grant Cardone he's worth $2 billion. He said, we've got to learn to master the law of massive action. I said, thank you, Grant Cardone, because Dr. Clark is getting ready to take it to the next. He said, we need to maximize. We need to move in the 10X ability now. He said, move everything to a 10X level. That means don't do it 1 level, 2 level, 3 level, 4 level, 5 level, 6 level. Do it at a 10X level, and you'll see your greatness come out of you. Listen, my name is Dr. Shirley Clark, and I approve this message. Listen, if you want some coaching, you want somebody to pull the greatness out of you, you want your millionaire stream to flow, listen, I have a 90-day mastermind millionaire. Let me just say mastermind wealth class. And I'm telling you, we push people into your greatness. Listen, this is my story. I'm sticking to it. Visit my website, Dr. Shirley Clark. Connect with me. And I'm telling you, the moment is here for you to be, I said, move to your next. Again, this is my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Once again, absolutely amazing. I just love the way you think, the way you output, the way you visualize things. I love your energy. I love your charisma. I just love everything about you.
We're really loving your content, what you're sharing with us, your tips and tools, because there are many that are struggling and they're always figuring out the how. And you've literally laid it out for us in plain and simple terms. And we are grateful for that information and knowledge that you shared with us this evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want to make things simple. And we either going to do the simple disciplines in life or make the simple error in judgment. And so I want to make it simple so nobody can say you so special, so I can't do it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I love that. I love the taglines, love the quotes. They're just very empowering, and they give us something to hold on to and actually take action on.
Exactly.
Towards it. So thank you so much for your time. We just send blessings to you where you are on the other side of the world. And we're going to visit your site. I'm definitely visiting it. And we'll connect with you.
Amen. And when I come through, I'll let you know, because I have an office over there in Holland. So I certainly want to connect with you. They wanted me to set one up in London, so I'm looking at it.
Nice one. When that happens, please let us know. Please.
Will do. Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
All right.
We will connect. Thank you for being a part of the Best You Expo. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you here.
God bless. So, it's just hotting up. Even though we're kind of coming down to time, things are hotting up, I'm telling you. So we're going to keep up with what we're doing because we've still got some more speakers to get through this evening. And we just hope that you're having a fantastic time. We have got Pat Sherman coming up next, and she'll be talking to us on Feel Great Naked, 5 ways to change how you look and feel. And we do have an introduction video that's there. So we're going to have her come to the stage.
Hi, my name is Pam Sherman. I am so excited to be back here at the Best You. I was here in 2019, and I'm just thrilled to be back. Now, my talk, Feel Great Naked, 5 ways to change the way you look and feel, is meant for every woman that doesn't like the way she looks or feels. For the woman who has tried everything and nothing has worked. They've tried Jenny Craig and keto and Weight Watchers and paleo. You name it, they've tried it, and it doesn't work or if they did get results, they don't last. I have been working with women for over 20 years as a group exercise instructor, personal trainer, coach, food coach, life coach, and I have seen the struggles that women have. I have struggled myself twice. When I was in college, I gained 35 pounds, and about 10 years ago, I gained 20. So I have lost weight. I know what it is like to feel awful in your own skin. And believe me, when I was heavier, I felt like a fraud. Here I am, a fitness professional teaching classes, and I was a little bit heavy for me. I grew out of my clothes. That is an awful feeling. I wore big, baggy, loose clothes, and it was awful. I want to talk to you about ways, realistic ways to change so that a year from now, a month from now, next week, you will start feeling better in your own skin. That being said, there are no quick fixes. I know I have tried everything. I have tried shakes, pills, super duper calorie restriction. I've tried everything, and let me tell you, it might work in the short term, but in the long term, it does not work. The problem is we want to get rid of this weight right now, tomorrow, but we did not put the weight on overnight. Therefore, it's not going to go away overnight. It takes time. It takes patience, which I know is awful. Believe me, my friends, when I had 20 pounds to lose, looking down, seeing my belly, not fitting in my clothes, I wanted it all gone like that. But your health or your weight does not work like that. But I promise you, when you put consistent work into yourself and your health, it will 1000% be worth it. Please know that only you can take care of yourself and your health. It is the one thing that we cannot hire out. We can hire trainers to be with us a few times a week for maybe an hour at a time, but the rest of the time, the 23 other hours in the day, you're on your own. Only you get to decide what goes in the pie hole or how you move your body. Now, these decisions can be made differently, and all of those little different decisions will add up to long-term success. I really hope you join me in my talk, Feel Great Naked, 5 ways to change the way you look and feel, because I can offer you real life advice that can change you for the rest of your life and how you look and feel. Again, my name is Pam Sherman. I hope to see you at my talk.
Wow, that was a great introduction. And we are going to have Pam share some of her tips with us live on Feel Great Naked, 5 ways to change how you look and feel. That is coming up.
This is what every lady wants to know.
Oh, absolutely. How to look and feel great. Yeah, that is one of the things that we would love. But I don't know if Pam can hear us yet.
Yes, I can.
Oh, excellent, Pam. Your camera's off. Hey.
There. Wait. Hey, hang on.
So Pam, as you know, is a wellness specialist, and she's the CEO and founder of Perfect Balance International. We're going to hear live and direct some tools from you today to help so many women on a global platform. We're going to leave the stage to you now, Pam.
Thank you so much. And I love that you did this for the Looking Great Naked. It is amazing to be part of the Best You for the second time. I was in London in 2019, and that was an incredible experience. The Best You is one of the biggest and best health and wellness expos, and to be part of it a second time is just thrilling. I am here to talk about feeling great naked, 5 ways to change the way you look and feel. I have been in the fitness industry for over 20 years as a personal trainer, a coach, a food coach, life coach, running coach. I have been
through so much with my clients and with my students. And in those years, I have seen more people struggle feeling great naked and losing weight. And I hate that there are so many things out there to choose from. In our society, you can Google how to lose weight and get 1,000 different answers. I'm here to tell you, there is no such thing as a quick fix. Even in our Insta society, when we want to lose it tomorrow, we did not put the weight on yesterday and it cannot leave the next day. I'm sorry to say. When I started in the 90s, I saw my clients do the Atkins. And then there was Eat Right for Your Blood Type, the South Beach diet. Throw in some Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig in there. Then there was the paleo, and now there's the keto. But yet people struggle more than ever with their weight and feeling great naked. I want to give you all my expertise on how you can feel great naked. Now, this is not a quick fix. Feeling great naked is all about baby steps that lead to long-term success. I have tried lots of fad diets, and I will tell you this, you lose weight on every diet, but then when you go off of it, you gain back that and more. I'm a 53-year-old health professional. I was born to be a trainer and a teacher. I love everything about health and wellness. When I first started, actually, I started with my childhood friends, and I'm really glad they did not break up with me. I was a trainer even before I knew I was a trainer. And being so passionate about what I do, I love motivating people. I'm hoping I'm motivating you today to feel great naked eventually. I am an empty nester now. I have a daughter in college, and I have a son who just finished college last year. And I do food coaching. I'm a local on my Sacramento, in Sacramento, California, way far away from you, on my local news station where I inspire the people of Sacramento how to make things healthier, how to move their bodies, how to boost their immunity. I love doing this for my local people as well as you across the pond. I also run the Perfect Balance Tribe. It's a private Facebook group that I created to encourage, empower, motivate, inspire, and teach people how to feel great naked, how to create daily habits that will lead them to success. We have also a private Facebook Live once a week. And 2 of my clients that I met 2 years ago in 2019 are part of my tribe. We have our Facebook Lives Friday morning, my time, Friday afternoon, your time, where we talk about our wins. We talk about things like in the US, it's Super Bowl this weekend. What kind of snacks should you have? Talk about everything. As well as I'm on Instagram at Perfect Balance Guru. And my YouTube channel is The Perfect Balance, where I create content for you because I always want to make it easy for you to move. Now, I want you to know that I have struggled with my weight myself. And if you don't believe me, go to my Instagram, because on Transformation Thursday, I post pictures of me when I was heavier. One time was in college where I was an overachiever and I did not gain the freshman 15. I gained the freshman 35. Yes, it's true. And then about 8 years ago, it was a super stressful time in my life, and I put on 20 pounds, and I felt awful in my own skin. That's why I love helping you, because I know what it's like to grow out of your clothes. I know what it's like to not look in the mirror and to not feel great naked, to hide from the mirror because I don't want to see myself. And for me, I felt like a fraud, because here I was, the pillar of health and wellness. I was still teaching classes and still training, and I was a little bit fat for me. I turned it around. I know what to do, and I want to share my best things with you, because there are ways you can feel great naked. I want you to know, just because you're middle age, if you are middle age, that does not mean you have to have a big middle. I am 53 and in the best shape of my life right now. I don't do any crazy diets. I don't restrict. I eat regular food. I'm not on any prepackaged food diet. And I want to share what I do for myself and what I did to lose weight with you, so you know that it can be done. I never, ever want you to give up on yourself or your health, because my motto is your health is your greatest wealth. And I don't want anybody to ever forget that. Okay. I love acronyms, and I want you to remember what I say after today. I'm going to make it easy for you. So NAKED is my acronym. N, we need self-care. I'm guessing mostly women are watching this, so I'm going to address the ladies watching this. Ladies, we are experts at taking care of everybody in our lives except for ourselves. We take care of our kids, our pets, husbands, wives, partners, our house, our jobs. We volunteer, we do carpool, but oftentimes we forget to take care of ourselves. Now, I wish I could tell you, please get a massage and a facial every day. That would be amazing. But what I'm talking about is a daily practice that can fit into your day. It could be meditation. It could be a gratitude journal. It could be deep breathing, but it's something I think every woman should do first thing in the morning before you grab your phone, unless your meditation app is on your phone. And there's plenty of free ones out there. And you put on a morning meditation. Why? This just starts your day off right. It starts your day off giving back to you and filling up your cup. Because as women, we have about 800 things to do every single day, and our cup gets drained. We need to start the day by filling our cup. Now, that being said, if you can get a massage, that would be amazing. But it's easy to fit in. You could buy a pretty little journal. We're women, we like pretty things. Gratitude journal, what are you thankful for? Or I actually have one by my bed, and I try to write 3 things every day that I was grateful for. And in the morning before I get out of bed, I try to think about, what am I thankful for today? Today, I'm thankful I am thankful to be talking to you. This is so exciting. Obviously, I'm so excited. And then I try to get into meditation. I'm not amazing at doing it for myself, so I use an app. Tons of free ones. Okay, N, we need self-care. A, always plan. I'm guessing you've heard this, but if you haven't, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We're very busy. Even in lockdown, we're very busy people. If you go out and you're running errands for 3 or 4 hours and you don't know what you're going to eat, it'll be too easy to go through a drive-through or get takeaway, as opposed to bringing a lunch with you, making sure you have water or have some snacks with you so you can make a great choice. Believe me, I had plenty of clients say, Pam, you just don't understand. I have to go through the drive-through line. No, you don't have to go through the drive-through line. I tell people, at least over here, I'm not sure how your stores are over there, go to your local grocery store, go to your deli, get some protein, and get a green salad. That's going to keep you full. And we have self-checkout lines everywhere. I imagine you could go through a grocery store, get your stuff, do a self-checkout faster than sitting in a drive-through line. The same goes for your movement and your exercise. It doesn't just happen. You have to plan for it. My best advice is for you to plan your exercise in the morning. I know at the end of the day, I'm toast and I do not have a lot of energy because I've done 800 things that day. If you can fit in even just a little bit, and here's the thing I want everybody to remember. You don't need an hour to work out. If you're not working out right now, you can start with 5 minutes. Everybody has 5 minutes to plan into their day, or 10 minutes. When you plan, you are successful every single time. My most successful clients, they know what they're going to eat every day, even on the weekends. And plans can change, but having a general idea of when you're going to exercise, what you're going to do for exercise, and what you're going to eat helps you so much along the way. Okay, N in NAKED, you need self-care. A, always plan. K means keep your goals in mind. Sticky notes. Who does not love sticky notes? I have them everywhere. I would love it if you would write your goal. And it could be to look great naked. That's a great goal. Or to lose a certain amount of weight. You guys are kilograms, we're in pounds, whatever it is. Or whatever you want to, your goal weight, or whatever you want to do this week. Write it on a sticky note. put it on your bathroom mirror, put it in the kitchen, put it in your car, put it on your desk, put it everywhere so you can remember what you're working for and how you're eating. For everybody watching, when you want to lose weight to feel great naked, it is all about creating a calorie deficit. So you must plan out your food. You must have good food at home, and you must log it, keeping that goal in mind, even on the weekends, even at socially distanced barbecues and parties. Over here in the US, it's Super Bowl weekend, and knowing what you're going to eat, kind of having an idea, is a great way to go into anything. It's so important because on the weekends, you know, I had a client tell me this and I've never forgotten it. It's been over 10 years now. Pam, it's the weekend, but I'm not a dog. I don't need a treat. How many of us, I know I used to, oh, it's Friday, I deserve a treat. If you have a goal, you deserve to treat yourself the same on Friday as you did on Monday. Eat for your health, eat for your goal, move for your goal. Make sure your days are focused. Now, guess what? When you do this and you reach your goal, it feels amazing. And I am not talking about deprivation. I'm talking about making sure you're planning for success, making sure you're getting your exercise in, making sure you're doing everything you need to do to support yourself. And keeping your goal in mind also includes telling your family members or your friends so they can help support you. Because when you have a support network, you are going to be more successful. Okay. N, you need self-care every day. The massage once a week would be great, or once a month. Okay. You need self-care. A, always plan. The K, keep your goal in mind. E, enjoy exercise. Now, I have seen too many people think exercise should be torture or over exercise to compensate for what they ate. And I'm raising my hand because this used to be me. I used to work out twice a day. I used to run too much to compensate for what I ate. You cannot outrun a bad diet. You can't outrun the fork. If you eat too much, you're going to gain weight. And our bodies are like a chemistry experiment. They are not a bank account. I want you to love what you do. And I like to tell this story. I have a client who moved from sunny, warm California to Washington, where it's cold and snowy. And she asked if I had any ideas for her for exercise. And let me tell you this, I have so many good ideas, both food and exercise, because this is what I've been doing for over 20 years. And I said, well, what about jump rope? And her face was like this. Oh, I love jump rope. I was on the jump rope team in high school. Okay, anything that gets you that reaction, anything that makes you happy is what you should be doing for exercise. And believe me, I've had plenty of people say, Pam, I don't like exercise. Let me ask you this. What did you like to do when you were a little kid? We all ran around. At least most of us ran around like crazy when we were kids. Did you like to bike? Did you like to, and if you bike now as an adult, I would get elbow pads and knee pads just in case, and a helmet. Did you like to skateboard? Did you like to dance? What did you like to do when you were young? We all liked to do something. Do it now. YouTube is the single greatest platform that we have to exercise at home. I'm going to promote my YouTube channel again, The Perfect Balance. But if you're a child of the 80s and like Tybo, Billy Blanks has videos for you there. Do you like Zumba? There's a ton of Zumba. Do you want to belly dance? You can belly dance. Anything you want to do, you can do from the comfort of your home. Now, I know you guys are locked down over there. Our gyms are not quite open yet. We have some outdoors, but it can be kind of cold here in the winter. But YouTube is a way for you to work out at home, to enjoy what you do, because our bodies, we're like a Ferrari. It's the highest performance machinery, engine, body, everything that you will ever have in your life. We need to keep moving. You have time. I've heard so many people say you don't have time. Let's face it. We all make time for things that we want to do. make time to exercise. You don't need any fancy equipment or a ton of weights. Your body weight is enough. You should have fun. It should make you smile. It should make you feel amazing afterwards. Now, I have a caveat to this. We should all love what we do, but we also need to strength train. I am so passionate about this. And let me tell everybody who's watching, you will not get big, bulky muscles from strength training. You will not get big, bulky muscles from strength training. We all lose muscle after the age of 30 unless we actively work on our muscles and eat to keep our muscle. I know everybody probably knows an elderly person that has fallen and they break bones. They break bones because their muscles are not protecting their bones. And did you know the number one reason people go into nursing homes is because they can't get up off of a chair? That's a squat. If you're not doing any strength training right now, I have an idea for you because I have lots of good ideas. If you're boiling water for a cup of tea or making coffee, go to your kitchen counter and do press-ups, as you guys call them. We call them push-ups until it's ready. When your arms get tired, go to your kitchen chair, sit down, stand up, and go back down until you barely touch that chair and stand back up. That's a squat. If you have 5 cups of tea a day and you do that while your water's boiling, boom, you added in your strength training. That is amazing. I'm also going to go back to my YouTube channel. I have a 5-minute playlist, a 10-minute playlist, 15-minute, and a lot of those videos are body weight strength. Please give them a try. We all need to be strength training and enjoying our exercise. I want you, we're all aging. I want you to feel amazing, not only naked, but I want you to feel amazing in your body, confident and strong. Strength training does that. And enjoying your exercise means you're going to keep doing it. There's no, I'm done working out. We're a Ferrari. Our Ferrari needs to keep going forever. So I want you to keep moving forever. Okay. N, need self-care. Always plan A. Keep your goal in mind. E, enjoy your exercise. D, develop daily habits. Now, nothing I've talked about is rocket science and it's nothing fad, right? I'm the no nonsense gal, but these things I'm talking about really do work. The daily habits that you create day after day, week after week, month after month lead to feeling great naked. It really does. My top 3 daily tips, because I'm only going to give you 3. I can give you 10, but I want you to be able to implement these tonight, tomorrow, next week. Sleep is my number 1 health tip. And I've said this in my speeches before, and live people are like, what? Sleep? Yes. Because if you get a great night's sleep, you get it about like this. You're so excited to start the day. You have energy to work out. You have energy to make healthy food. You know what you're going to do. The day is amazing. If you get a bad night's sleep, your brain craves sugar, which I like to call the bad boyfriend, by the way. And it's hard not to feed that brain. You're also not going to want to exercise. And you're probably not going to want to take the time to make your healthy food. Now, in the last 11 months, we have all been watching a ton of TV. Hello, Bridgerton on Netflix. Hubba hubba. That is so great to watch. But here's the thing. I have told more than a few clients to set their alarm to go to bed. It's too easy to binge watch our favorite shows. And then before you know it, it's midnight, 1 o'clock, and you have to get up and work the next day. We all need between 6 to 8 hours of sleep at night. If you get more, amazing. Set your alarm to go to bed at a decent time. Bridgerton will be there tomorrow, unless you've already finished season 1. Then we gotta wait. Okay, sleep is my number 1. 2 is water. I know coffee and or tea, they're a food group. They are for me, absolutely. But this Ferrari is made up of over 60% water, 60 to 65 for all of us. And our organs need water to function optimally every single day. Now, I know people who don't drink any water. So yikes. And I don't want you to go overboard starting today, especially because it's nighttime there or afternoon there or tomorrow. Here's what I want you to think about. Ideally, when you get to your ideal, about half your body weight in ounces of water. Now, that being said, if you're only drinking 1 glass a day, I want you for the next week to add in a 2nd glass. That's it. The week after, go to 3 glasses. Remember, we're talking about baby steps. If you try to drink that much tomorrow, you're never going to leave the bathroom, and I don't want that to happen. And I also want you to sleep at night, so I don't want you to wait till the end of the day to get your water in. A lot of times we think we're hungry and we're just really thirsty. So drinking water has so many benefits. Great for our skin, great for our hair, so many good things. Our function, our organ functions, everything. Okay, so sleep is number 1. Get enough sleep. 2 is water. 3, okay, this is something that people always, it sounds so easy, but it's adding things into your day. I want you to think about adding vegetables to every meal you have, as well as adding protein. Remember, I talked about strength training, and our muscles need protein, and they need to be worked in order to keep our muscle. Now, what's the best protein to eat? It's the one that you like. Google protein sources, pick out your favorite ones, and eat those. There is no magic key for, if you eat this, you'll do this. I want you to eat what you love. Just like the exercise. I want you to exercise in a way that makes you happy. I want you to eat what you love so you can keep eating it for the rest of your life. And fiber. Oh, fiber acts as little scrub brushes in our arteries so our blood can flow freely, helps with the bathroom every day, and it helps keep you full. There is nothing worse than finishing a meal and thinking, oh my God, I'm still hungry. If you have enough protein, which for most people is between 3 to 6 ounces, about the palm of your hand, about that size, and a ton of veg, unlimited veg, you are going to be full after your meal every single time. And people say, well, what about in the morning? If you made a great big egg scramble that put a ton of veggies in, there you go. Every time you leave the house, you can bring cut up carrots, celery, peppers, even an apple or pear. Fiber is fruit with a skin on it too. That's going to help keep you full. I like to say, never leave your house without an apple and a water bottle, because when you're driving around running your errands and you're hungry, you're not going to think, oh, I need to stop and get an apple. You're going to go with what's quick and easy. So never leaving without an apple or water bottle is always a great idea. Developing these daily habits. And this is what I did about 8 years ago. Okay, I'm going to do a little bonus 4th one. If you want to feel great naked, if you want to look great naked, if you want to lose weight, you have to log your food. There's tons of free apps out there. I recommend MyFitnessPal because you need to be in a calorie deficit. Logging your food every day, every bite that goes in the pie hole is huge, because I already told you, we can't outrun a bad diet. We can't outrun the fork. Losing weight, feeling great naked, it's about creating that deficit and being accountable to yourself and your health. I don't want to see you struggle. I want to help you feel amazing in your own skin. I never want you to give up. I don't want you to go, oh, I'm middle-aged. I just have that menopause middle or that middle-aged middle. No, that's maybe too much wine middle or too much food middle. You can change. You can feel amazing in your own skin. And I want to tell you about my offer with the Perfect Balance Tribe, my amazing group of people who I inspire every day on their health and wellness journey. Because you're watching and I want to help you out, I want to offer you a free month. Go to my website, click Join the Tribe, and in the coupon code, put in free month in all caps. We can date. You can date me for a month to see if you like me. And then if you like me, it's only $9.99 US dollars per month for so much great information. I have a video library that's just for the tribe with over 100 videos. Now in there, I have yoga, hello self-care. I have strength, mostly body weight. Hello, strength. And I have stretching. Oh my gosh, there's so much self-care right there. The weekly Facebook Lives are always saved on that page. And we talk about great, I'm doing this, patting myself on the back. We do talk about great information that's usable. Just this last Friday, we talked to a nurse who has nothing but crap in her back room for snacks. We game plan that, as well as game plan snacks for Super Bowl. I did not actually plan that, but it worked out. They are an amazing part of the tribe. I hope you join. I want you to feel great naked. Also, because you have your phones, please go to Instagram. Please follow me, Perfect Balance Guru. I can inspire you daily there as well. And my YouTube channel, there's so much that I have for you. My YouTube channel is The Perfect Balance. I have some self-care in there as well. I have a 1 minute of peace playlist where you're just doing some deep breathing and some light stretching. I have a whole straight talk video where I'm talking like this about different things. Weekend eating, the scale, holiday eating, avoiding disaster, so many topics. Again, I have my 5-minute playlist, a 10-minute playlist, 15-minute, 20-minute. I have a whole stretching playlist, a whole self-care playlist just for you. Because taking care of yourself, it's not about deprivation. In fact, my company name, The Perfect Balance, comes from when my youngest went to elementary school and I wanted to go to women's homes to train them. I thought, what can I do? Balance, perfect balance of food and fitness. That was 14 years ago. Now I'm older and much wiser. The perfect balance to help you feel great naked. It is self-care. It's meditation. It's deep breathing. It's eating nourishing food. It's enjoying your exercise. It is strength training. It's getting love in your life. There is so much more to the perfect balance than just food and fitness. I am so glad you spent time with me today. I hope you learned something. I hope you put these into practice. I'll go over everything one more time. My 5 ways to feel great naked. N, you need self-care. A, always plan. K, keep your goals in mind. E, enjoy your exercise. And D, develop daily habits. And give yourself grace and give yourself time along the way. We all fall down, but just get back up and know that your health is your greatest wealth and you are worth never, ever giving up on your goals, on yourself, or on your health. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love it, and I hope to see you next year live.
Thank you very much. That is amazing. You're a lady of my own heart. I preach everything that you have just said. I've gone on my transformational journey as well because I've lost 25 stone. And yeah,
wow.
Mad, isn't it? Yeah. So, yeah, everything you say, this is what the world needs at the moment. They need to be accountable for their own health and wellness. With everything that's going on with lockdown and the pandemic, people need to listen and they just need to do small things every day and build on it, build that foundation, break the habits, everything. I mean, I'm definitely going to be going on your site. I am, just for a little bit of coaching for me, because we all have to keep ourselves on track.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes. That's amazing. You lost 25 stone.
Yes.
You must feel like $1 million.
Yeah. Mind, body, and spirit. It's just like redesigning yourself, losing the weight, getting rid of basically all your crap and recreating yourself, thinking different, thinking the way you look at food, learning and trying new things, the internal audio. There's everything there that us women have to do, but it's doing it in small steps and building on it and not making excuses and making yourself accountable. So yeah, but to look at me now, you wouldn't think that, would you?
No, I mean, that's because when you look at somebody, you think, oh, they've been that way forever.
No surgery, nothing. Got my skin back as well. I have had a stone of skin from my stomach removed, but that was just a massive overlap. But they reused that for skin burn victims as well. So it worked really nicely. So yeah, it's just been, it's exactly what you say. It is, there's content there. People need to be looking and taking action, taking responsibility. And yeah, it's just there.
Well, you have changed your life and you've extended your life. So amazing, amazing job.
Yeah, no, well done you. Thank you for sharing your story, your platform with us. And it has been a pleasure. And hopefully we will see you on some more of the best you, because you're exactly what we need. We need more people like you to come on and empower the women to take responsibility for themselves and empower them to move their lives forward. So thank you for joining us. And we look forward to spending some more time with you in the future.
Thank you. And I hope to see you live next year.
Yes, that would be amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, we are coming down to the end of the day. And you know what? They always say you save the best till last, isn't it, Sarah?
Yeah, that's what they say. Today has just been like, wow. It's just like, in a way, you don't want it to end.
No. I've now got into the full swing of it now. It's funny. But I've taken so much content in, and I'm just hoping that all the viewers out there, those that are watching it on YouTube, that are in the actual lobby watching from there, wherever they're watching in the globe, I pray and hope that you've taken so much from what these phenomenal speakers have. And we've got another one coming up now, haven't we got, Sarah?
We've got Dr. Leonie Mattison. Now, she's going to give you six steps to achieve international transformation. She is a motivational speaker. Dr. Mattison has helped non-profit organizations, and to do something like that from the goodnesses of your heart, that is absolutely amazing. She is a strong leader, high performance, and increases employees' engagement. So we all know that employees can sort of just slack off, and this is the lady that you need to be watching. She is literally full of energy. She's uplifting, and she is here to show you how her 6 steps to achieve international transformation. So Dr. Leonie,
I wish it was international. It's intentional. I am
no.
You know what? As they good. So it's
transformation.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. There you go. It's international.
Yes.
I love it. Good morning. Well, it's morning here in California, and it's evening for you. So thanks for having me, and thank you for supporting me to be sharing the 6 steps to intentional transformation from trauma. And I'm going to be talking about, we've all been through a traumatic event, as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. So I'm going to walk people through a tool that I developed. I'm also a trauma survivor. I hope I'm looking in the camera, because I'm always looking up when I'm supposed to be looking down, and kind of feel weird. But if I'm not, just help me out. So let me know. Am I live? Is it time to go?
You are live.
You.
Now I'm giving the stage to you. You've got this now.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Thank you. I did not know I was live. All right. So, okay. To everyone who's in the workshop today, welcome. I always say, welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, everyone, to the Best You Expo, the UK in London, and 6 steps to achieve intentional transformation. I am Dr. Leonie H. Mattison. And I just want to say thank you to every single person who registered to attend this event. I know hundreds of you have registered, and I just want to honor your presence and say a big thank you. Now, I feel humbled, very humbled by this opportunity are we going to put up the slides? Let's go ahead and put the slides up for me. Okay, awesome. So I just feel very humbled by the opportunity to share this groundbreaking tool with all of you. It is a topic that's near and dear to my heart. It is a tool that I developed while I was on my intentional transformation journey and transformation from severe trauma. And so I know the power of this tool. Can be used as a personal development tool, as well as individuals, teams, and organizations can use this tool as a change management or a strategic planning tool. Now, as I said, there are hundreds of us registered for this UK event, and I'm honored that you're here. I want to say a big thank you to all of you who've been supporting me and encouraging me as I, continue to navigate through this journey. Thank you. Now, if you are new to my work, or if you know a little bit about what I do, as I said before, my name is Dr. Leonie H. Mattison. I am an author and the author of the Thread Collection. I am the pioneer of the Thread Movement, an award-winning organizational and talent development practitioner, and I'm a trauma survivor. And something amazing happened to me while I was on my healing journey from trauma. I was going through this stage in my life, where I was battling with multiple aftermath of abuses: sexual, emotional, physical, spiritual, financial. I mean, you name it, I have gone through them. I heard the previous speaker talk about your health. I, at one point, was 270 pounds. And so I had to learn steps to get rid of the unwanted weight and, kind of deal with some of the issues that was causing and creating me to be obese. And so while on this journey, I discovered this tool. And one of the things that I discovered on my healing journey, and I want to share this with all of us, is that within each and every single person, whether you're a male or female, you have the power of intention. It's inside of you. Nobody can take it away from you, and you have access to it at all times, anytime, from anywhere. And we're going to talk about what that means and what it looks like. Now, many people who are on this workshop, they're in the workshop today, have helped me to uncover the power of intentionality. And what I love about this power that all of us have inside of us is that we can access it. Not only that, the power inside of us, nobody can take it away from us. The power inside of us, we can use that power to decide and determine the outcome we want in situations that's designed to demolish our very existence. And we're going to talk about that today as well. Now, I do not need to remind any of us how traumatic, I mean deeply traumatic, 2020 has been. It has been a year that's been full of stress. It has been challenging. It has been one that was filled with a lot of tension and unrest. And if you're like me and many others, I know that it felt like life literally gave me an exam that I did not study for it. And in addition to that, I felt like it's an experience that I will never forget. It's an experience I don't want to remember. And it has been an experience with a lot of lessons that we can learn from. Now, I must tell you that I too, as a transformational teacher and pioneer, that I have wrestled with anxiety. I have wrestled with fear. I have battled with polycystic ovarian syndrome and Bell's palsy. And it was very familiar. It felt very similar to the traumatic experience I had 18 years ago. So you can imagine the triggers that I've been through over the last couple months. And I know many of you in the workshop today can relate to how the COVID-19 environment has triggered a lot of emotions for us. And for many of us, maybe this year has not only been challenging on a personal level, but many women have shared how they've also been struggling on the professional side as well. And so I want to share this 6-step tool with us today. Let's put the screen back up. Let's go ahead and put it back up. Let's go to the next slide. And I want to walk you through, let's put the next slide up, some of the intentions that we have for our time together, because we're going to have a conversation that matters and it's going to be pretty intentional. So the outcomes that we want to achieve today is to understand the role of this THREAD 6-step system to achieve intentional transformation. You know, somebody asked me, what do you mean by achieve, intentional, and transformation? What do the words mean? I'm going to show you a quick little video. And I hope it will help you to get a clearer understanding about what I mean by achieve, intentional, and transformation. The second outcome that we want to achieve today is to explore the power of your intentions. And third is to begin to consider who you want to become, and know the steps that you need to take to get there. So let's play the video. Let's play the video of the little doggy and the gopher. Let's play that video for me, please. Let's play the video, the YouTube video. Let's play the YouTube video first. And while we're pulling up the video, I hope you have your pens and your pencils and your note-taking devices. Okay, let's watch this video. Take a look at this. Now the gopher is very determined. Very determined. The bulldog is there, and the gopher is just digging. He has a goal, and nothing is going to stop him. He's digging. Now watch the dog. The dog is trying to distract the gopher. But watch what the gopher does. Nothing is going to stop the gopher. In fact, she or he is so determined. The dog is trying to distract it from what it's trying to do, but watch what the gopher does. The gopher is like just telling the dog off, like, get away from me, move, move. You're not going to stop me today. I'm on a mission. I'm being intentional, get away from me. And he goes right back to doing what it set out to do. The dog is distracting the gopher, and the gopher is not allowing the dog to stop it in its track. The gopher is intentional. Anything that comes in its way, it's gonna push it out of the way. Got a mission, focus. So achieve the goal that the gopher wants to attain, and the gopher is very intentional, his focus. Yeah, the gopher has a plan, and nothing is going to detour the gopher. The gopher is batting away the distraction, you know. And I share that video because when we talk about achieve intentional transformation, oftentimes I've heard from women, you know, I set out to do this one thing, and every time I try to do this one thing, here comes this negative, distraction, or this negative barrier, or something comes in the way that prevents me from accomplishing my goal. And we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to introduce you to a tool that I developed to help you to specifically overcome the obstacles and the challenges to you accomplishing your goal. So let's go to the next slide, please. We're going to open, as many of you know, if you followed me, you know that I'm a Christian. So we're going to open our session today in prayer. And so I invite you at this time to just center yourself.
Center yourself if it's safe to do so. And I know many will be watching this video at a later date. I just ask that you just pause for a moment. This moment is for you. And I want you to center yourself. If you can, close your eyes. And I want you to take a nice, deep breath. Just breathe in. Just take a nice, deep breath. And if you're able to, I invite you to just go all the way down to your hips. Like that breath, take it again, inhale, go all the way down into your hips. And I want you to find your tension, whether it's in your back, your neck, your shoulders, find it and release it. And I want you to recognize your presence here today. You're in the company of individuals who all showed up for the same reason, to achieve intentional transformation. And so let's say this little prayer is on your screen. You can read it along with me, and I'm going to read it out loud for us. Dear God, I open myself to receive wisdom, insight, and understanding. I welcome new knowledge, genuine support, and guidance. I appreciate this moment of intentional transformation. I am safe, I am present, I am loved. I lay down the burden of the heartache I carry, and I send and I receive blessings and kindness to everyone. I align myself to my calling as a change agent, as a pioneer, as a transformed woman or man. Please go back to the slide. And I awaken the transformed and highest version of myself. And I want you to receive that. I want you to lean into that. I want you to believe that you are a transformed woman. And I know there's some men in the workshop with us today. You are a transformed person. Now, this workshop is focused on intentional transformation. And when I think of the word, all the words in this topic, let's go to the next slide, please. I can't help but to refer to my book, The Thread. And The Thread is written to help individuals to restore their faith, their love, and their life. And in The Thread, I share stories of women from the Bible, as well as my own personal story of how I overcame tragedy, trial, and a ton of tribulations, and offer some tools and this particular 6-step tool to help us to achieve intentional transformation. So we're going to do a quick overview before we get into it, dive into it a little bit deeper. So the 6 steps are: step 1 is to think and to get clear on the outcome you want to achieve. And we're going to ask ourselves some really deep questions, but I'm going to be with you, so hang tight. You're not going to be alone. I'm not going to leave you alone to answer the questions. I'm going to guide you along the way. And step 2 is the H. So we're spelling the word thread, T-H-R-E-A-D. So the second step is to harvest the lessons that you've learned from the past. So this entails quite a bit of a self-examination and self-reflection. Step 3 is to release, to let it go, to let the things go that no longer serve your highest good. Let go the behaviors and the habits that do not support the woman or the man that you say you want to become. And then step 4 is E, enlist. To enlist dependable allies, people who believe in you, resources that will support your transformation. And step 5 is A, adopt. This is where we talk about mindset management and how to adapt new mindsets and behaviors so that you can truly walk
as this new man, this new woman that you say you want to become. And the last step is step 6D, is to dream of a new self and to design your joyful life. So we're going to talk about what these 6 steps are and what do I mean by intentional transformation. So I want you to think of this workshop as a little mini guide, if you want to call it, where you get some help to clarify your goals. I want you to be able to break down these goals into manageable action steps and then hold yourself accountable. So let's get started. Let's go to step 1. We are ready. Yes, to go to step 1. Now, we're going to move to the next slide. Let's move to the next slide. We're going to move to the next slide. We're going to move on. We'll come back to intentions. So my first question, I want you to think with me. I want you to think about a situation that you're struggling with to get over. Maybe for you, it's you were abused as a child and you feel unworthy and dishonored. Maybe you were belittled and shamed in relationships and it has left you feeling, unloved. Maybe you're coping with health, emotional, or even financial issues and you feel like giving up. Or maybe you made some mistakes in the past and you feel guilty and ashamed. Or maybe you're struggling to deal with the loss of a loved one or a career or a business and you're feeling overwhelmed. I want you to face what you're going through. Face it, name it. What is that situation you're struggling with to get over? And could you please go back? Okay, thank you. Next slide, right there. No, next slide. Yes, let's stay right there. So go back to the next, stay right there. Let's stay right here. So I want you to ask yourself, who do I want to become? Who do I want to become? Maybe for you, it's you want to be healed. I've talked to women who have been diagnosed with the COVID-19 virus, and they're feeling almost like they're blaming themselves as if they did something wrong. Or maybe for you, it's you're feeling like as a mom that you're not doing such a great job like the other moms. Maybe you're looking over into somebody else's greener grass that looks greener on the other side and you're feeling like, I'm not a good enough mom. I want you to put that situation to the side for a minute and really ask yourself, but who do I want to become? Outside of this situation that I'm going through, who do I want to become? And I want you to choose 5 powerful words that sum up the woman you want to become. And then I want you to write these 5 words in a box or on a piece of paper, draw 5 boxes and write each word in one of those boxes. And then when you finish from here, I want you to cut out these words and put them in maybe your purse or somewhere special so that later, when you need reminding, you can refer back to these words to remind yourself of the woman or the man that you say you want to become. So that's step 1, is to ask yourself, and I know for many of us, that's a huge question because it may have been many years since you really stopped to consider you. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, your identity is very important. Before you can do what you're called to do, it's important to know who you are, because it is out of who you are that you will then do. So I want you to really spend some time to ask yourself, who am I? Let's go to the next slide. I'll show you what that looks like. So there's this word cloud that I created for you that you can pick some words from. So some powerful words might be shrewd. I'm a shrewd business leader. Please go back to the next slide. I'm a shrewd business leader. Next, yeah, right there. Maybe you are an inspiring author. Maybe you are a captivating speaker or a treasured wife or mother. I want you to write it down. So I gave you an example. So you have something that you can refer to. So let's go to the next slide. So now you know who you are. You wrote it down. You cut it out and put it in your purse so you can refer to it later. That's step one, knowing who you are. Now we're going to move on to step two. Step two is all about self-examination. All of us, we've made a decision that led to the situation that we're in today. And this step requires for us to have an honest conversation with ourselves and to ask yourself the question, what knowledge can I use from the past to forge a new path forward? This step requires you to look back. But this is what I say to women, looking back doesn't mean you're going back. It simply means that you're going to have an honest conversation, put all the pieces out on the table, and you're going to examine them. And this is where maybe you can consider the following statements. And this is what I've heard from women. And I myself have said this too, because I have been there. And I want to pause for a moment to just acknowledge that I have been where what I'm teaching is what I've been through. And many people in our workshop today can also relate to what I'm saying. So no blaming, no shaming, okay? So maybe you can consider these statements. It may fit with your situation, it may not. I take dead-end jobs that has left me feeling exhausted and overlooked. Maybe you find yourself saying, I find it impossible to say no, when saying yes, I know does not really support the woman or the man I say I want to be because I'm a people pleaser. Or maybe you end up apologizing even when you know you did nothing wrong. It's not your fault what's happening to you or to others. Or maybe you seek approval. Maybe you stick in with relationships where people belittle you. And it's because you just feel like you don't want to make anyone unhappy. Maybe for you, your body, you find that your body reacts physically, when it anticipates a conflict. You need to know that. You need to know that because there's a pattern in your decision making, and you ought to be able to recognize what decisions did I make that led me to where I am today. And then once you've, once you recognize those behaviors, those patterns, those decisions, I want you to journal it. Go there, be comfortable, get familiar with, just looking at situations and saying, you know what, I need to course correct, but I need to know what it is that I need to fix. Which then takes us to step 3. And step 3 is now that you know, so we know who we are, we've examined the past. Let's go to the next slide, please. And we're going to bless and release the past. We're going to go to step 3. Next slide. Step 3 is all about letting go now. So you have all the pieces in front of you. You know who you want over here in step 1. Step 2 says, I've made these decisions that's hindering me from, manifesting who I say I want to become. And so step 3 is where you now need to release. You need to have a breakup party with the things, the behaviors, please go back, the behaviors that no longer serve your highest good. And this is a step where you ask yourself, what do I need to let go of to become the man or the woman I say I want to become? Now, this is a step where you have to take some action. So let's go to the next slide. And I've created this simple tool that you can use. You ask yourself, go back, what do I need to keep? What do I need to release? What do I need to invite into my life? The things that you need to keep are usually the people or the habits or the things. They add value to your life. And you've got to be able to recognize those things. You know, maybe you keep the healthy regime. Maybe you keep your gym membership. Maybe you keep those habits and behaviors that really helps to empower you. Some of the things that you release: cease participating in a particular job, a club. Maybe you're in a dead-end job that you really need to move on from the job. You need to maybe work on your resume and find a better career that's more, in alignment with the woman or the man that you know deep in your heart you were created to be. And then the invite is where you invite, you bring, you welcome new experiences, right? So you welcome maybe a new spiritual practice. Maybe you start journaling. You start doing things that add value to your life. You welcome those things in. So let's go to the next slide. So now we know who we are. We've released those things that no longer serve our highest good. And we've harvested the lessons learned. Now we go to step 4. Step 4 is, want to go back, please? Step 4 is, it requires some trust here, okay? So step 4 is where we enlist. We are going to invite the right resources and the right people to come into our lives and to support us. Now, these are people and resources that truly can help to take us to the next level, to take us to our highest potential. And I'm going to say to us, ladies and gentlemen, this is a stage that sometimes it's not familiar. It feels uncomfortable. And if you are a trauma survivor, you develop certain coping mechanism that sometimes it will pushes against this particular step, because nobody likes change. We prefer to be in comfortable situations, but change and growth do not live on the same street. I want you to sit with that. If you want to grow, you have to do something different. I talk to so many women and they're like, why am I at the same level I was last year? And I ask, what's the common denominator? Me. Do you need help? No, not ready. How come? And so you have to ask yourself this question: who can I enlist to support my vision? Because not everybody is equipped to do it. So, which is why it's so important to go back to step 1. Who do I want to become? I'll give you a quick story. In 2006, 2007, somebody made a good mistake and said to me, I think you're cut out to be a COO. I don't know what about that excited me when I heard it in 2006, but from 2006 up until 2020, I started taking those steps. And let me tell you, life knocked me down to the ground. And everything about what I was going through during certain seasons of my life told me I was not cut out for it. I made so many mistakes. I did so many things that was anti this woman that I envisioned myself to be. And it took me 14 years to become a COO. 14 years, ladies and gentlemen. 14. Because I wasn't ready then. But when I got ready, I started to behave like a COO. I started studying how COO behaved. I started taking classes. I got a coach. I also wanted to become a speaker. And so I had to work on me. I had to bring in the support to help me to become this woman I say I want to become. So I want you to list 3 to 5 people or resources who can support your intention to transform and to become this woman or man that you say you want to become. So that's your homework after this session. So let's go to step 5. And step 5 is my favorite step. So now we know who we are. We've harvested the lessons learned. We've released those behaviors that no longer support who we say we want to become. We've enlisted supporters to help us. Let's move to step 5, which is mindset management. I love this step. This is a step where I share the story about the lion and the elephant. When the elephant sees the elephant says, "Oh my word, I am lunch for the lion." When the lion sees the lion say, "Yummy, I see food." Two separate mindset. One is a victim, one has authority. I don't know who told the elephant that the lion is the king of the jungle. And I don't know who told the lion that everybody knows that he's the king of the jungle. But when the animal sees the lion, they know who he is. You gotta know who you are so that you know how to show up. You know where to go and you know where not to go. You know what environments support you to become your highest self. And you know the environments that demotivate you because you know who you are. You're studying the behavior of the woman or the man that you say you want to become. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not about being perfect. This is about purpose. All of what I'm saying has to do with what you are called to do. And the bigger grand scheme of things is your purpose. I want to die empty. Don't you want to die empty as well? I want to die knowing that I fulfill the purpose to which I was created to fulfill. And I want you watching me today. I want you to know you were created for a purpose. You were created with a purpose, and you were created to fulfill that purpose. And I want to empower you to begin to ask the question of, is the way I'm living, is the things I'm doing, is the things I'm saying supporting the woman or the man I say I want to become? And if they're not, here's what I encourage you to do. This step, I want you to go back to the 5 words, those power words that you selected to describe the man or the woman that you say you want to be. And I want you to record them. Now, why record them? Just do it. There is no habit that can bring about bigger transformation than listening to your self-recorded affirmations. Trust me when I tell you this. I'm a stroke survivor. And in addition to medication and therapy, it was when I started recording myself and listening to myself that I gotta sit with this one for a minute. It was when I started listening to myself that I started taking those determined steps to rise out of the traumatic experience. I told myself that I was gonna become that woman I always known myself to be. I wasn't going to allow the trauma, the stroke, and the Bell's palsy to keep my purpose pinned to the ground, which take us to step 6 and the last step. Could you put that up on the screen for me, please? The very last step is step 6. And this is where step 6, you become the woman who designed her joyful life. You dream of this woman all through the 5, 6 steps. The next slide, please. And I now want you to become her. I want you to welcome the next slide, to welcome this woman into your home or this man into your home. And I want you to ask yourself this question. The next slide, please. In step 6 is where you ask yourself, what life do I want to live? And I want you to tell yourself these things. I will be the man or the woman I've always known myself to be. I want you to tell yourself, I have identified old patterns and I've let them go. I want you to tell yourself, I have used the 3-step tool, and you're going to use it to release the behaviors, the unsupported behaviors and habits that no longer serve this woman or man I say I want to be. And I want you to start this journey to becoming your best self. I want you to polish your dream. I want you to do what you need to do to rise from trauma and crises and to reclaim your life. I want you to realize that as a man thinks, so is he. I want you to know that you can course correct because you have the power of intentionality to be able to accomplish that dream. I want you to know that it takes actions. You have to take the steps and take them being fearful. Take them while limping. Take them even though you've been diagnosed with COVID-19. Take them though you are probably battling cancer. Rise. I want to empower you to rise, to get up and live. Live until you can't live no longer live. So let's go to the next slide, please. I want you to welcome this new woman into your home. And so I'm going to join you to welcome this new woman and this new man. I want you to welcome her, welcome him. Call whoever it is that you wrote in step 1. Say, I welcome this successful business leader. I welcome the New York Times bestselling author. I welcome myself at 170 pounds, whatever weight you're trying to get at. Welcome her or him. I welcome myself as this transformed woman. So welcome pioneers. Welcome history makers. Welcome doctors. Welcome lawyers. Welcome successful women in leadership. Welcome CEOs. Welcome COOs. Welcome teachers. Welcome innovators. I welcome you. I welcome you to live the highest version of yourself because you were created not as a victim, but you are a victorious woman. You are a victorious man. And I welcome you to the highest expression of your best self. I'm going to hold you to that and ask that you hold yourself accountable to being that woman or that man. Next slide, please. Now let's do a quick recap. Next slide. You know who you are. Step 1. Step 2, you've acknowledged the decisions that you've made in the past that no longer serve your highest good. So you've harvested the lessons learned. Step 3, you've released those behaviors and those habits that no longer serve the woman or the man that you've always known yourself to be. And step 3, you release it. Step 4, you enlist support to help you to become the best and highest expression of your purpose and your existence. And step 5, you adapted a new mindset. As a man thinketh, so is he. So you're going to think on the things that are lovely, the things that are good, the things that represent who you say you want to be. And step 6, you are going to live that life that you've designed, and you're going to live it to the fullest. So let's go to the next slide, please. And lastly, I just want to encourage you to use the words in step 1 and the ones you recorded in step 3 or 4. I want you to turn them into affirmations. So my affirmations are, some of them are on the screen. I want you to affirm with me. I know myself. I am sufficient in God. My well-being is my top priority. My heart and mind, I am at peace. I am guided to the right resources. My life is designed for me to learn and grow. I take leaps of faith to get to where I want to go. Affirm it. Lean into it. It may be a little bit unfamiliar. That's okay. Lean into it anyway. Next slide. You have your transform self and some things that you can do that transform people behave. I will provide that to you. Transform people, they're consistent. Transform people learn to trust and they want to grow. Transform people grow in the face of challenges. Transform people recover quickly from difficulties. Transform people accept responsibility for their mistakes. Transform people deal with change as it's happening. And transformed people normally stay positive as they recover even in the midst of a crisis. Next slide, please. As I mentioned earlier, I am the founder of the Thrive Movement, and I'd like to invite you to join the movement. We're really about helping women and the men who love us to heal and to achieve intentional transformation. We partner with communities to ensure that every female trauma survivor has access to education, services, and tools so they can rise from it, right? Heal from trauma and achieve intentional transformation through Christ Jesus. And our vision is to see transformed women living in a personal relationship with God. The next slide, please. And lastly, how do we get the work done that we do? We prepare women to transform. So we provide education. We provide opportunities for them to network with role models and mentors. We pave the way. So we show them how to get to the next level in life, in their careers. And we partner with you to bring about the change. And so next slide, we have a Kickstarter that is underway. We just started a Kickstarter campaign, and I would like to invite you to donate to this campaign. You can visit our website at www.leoniemadison.com, and any amount that you give will be so appreciated. We want to take this tool into more schools. It's already in the jails. I've been asked to speak to some women who have been delivered from sex trafficking. So I'm going to be teaching them this over 8 weeks. I need your support. I need your support to really help women and the men who love us to achieve intentional transformation. The last slide. Thank you so much for, I guess that's it. Thank you so much for allowing me to share the Achieve Intentional Transformation and the 6 steps that you can take to rise from trauma, to rise from crises, and to reclaim your life. You're precious, you matter, you were created for a purpose. And so girl, guy, rise. Rise. I want to meet you. I want to see the best version of yourself. And I welcome you and I thank you for showing up today. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for showing up.
Wow, thank you for that. Steps to achieve intentional transformation. But we have now made you international.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I like it, I like it, I like it.
We're putting it out there into the universe. That was absolutely amazing. And there's so much content there. And we've got so many comments. I will die empty. I love this. This is very true. So this has really touched people. And it's definitely something that everyone, including me, needs to replay back. And as we replay back, you can just claw more and more for it. So thank you for spending the time today with us at the Expo. And we look forward to having you again and again and again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thank you for hosting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, guys, how amazing is that? The day is like we started at dawn and it was sunshine out there. We're looking out the windows now and it is, I've had to close my curtains. It is just so cold here in the UK. But do you know what? The day has just flown by. So much content today has been shared. People have really poured their heart and their soul. They're passionate. They are there. They've empowered themselves. They're empowering you, and the Best You platform is just growing and growing. So guys, remember, if you missed anything or you need to recap like we do, because things was just, the information was just like, whoa, this is what we love. You can go to all the Best You platforms. You can go to the TV series. You can go to the online. You can go to the Best You app. The live talks that they stream. Oh my God, it is just endless. But it has been such an amazing day. But I know Ruth really would like to share some more winners with you because it's lovely to finish up on a really good positive note.
I hope everyone, like you said, has got so much out of it. And some of you have become winners of, you know, being as part of the Best You. You've got to be in it to win it. And so we have some of the winners for some of the real phenomenal prizes. And there's still more to go because we've still got another day to go. So let's start off with Bridget. We've got Bridget who has won fantastically the Expand Your Brand TV package. So similar, like if you've seen the adverts of Master J, she's going to have something similar like that. And then we've got Muralid Jayaram. They also won the Expand Your Brand Leader package. And these are coming at some, phenomenal value prices. And then we've got Michael R. He also won the free episode of the Best You TV series, which, my goodness, that is so great because now we're going to get to see who Michael R. is on the Best You platform. I look forward to seeing who he is, that mysterious winner. And then we've got Jason MCC, and they won Darren Winter's prize, which was the VIP stock market and Forex online training courses. Then who else we've got? For David Fagan, anyone who got to see David Fagan, he's got a winner. That is Brenda C. from the Publishing Genius course. She's managed to, get that prize for herself. And then Jen Beck, who we had earlier on. Felicia, you are the phenomenal lucky winner of the 8-week Restore Your Gut Health program. And last but not least, we've got the giveaway from Bethany London. We've got Marta Hari, and you get the one-to-one clearing session with her live and direct. There's still some more others. We've got 20 winners I'm seeing for the audio book, The $1 Million Decision. You will be emailed. Each and every one of you will be emailed on your packages that you have won. Enjoy. They are phenomenal prizes.
And guys, just remember, these are just your nicknames that you've put into the system when you've logged in. So they might not actually be your actual names. So they are whatever you've put into the system. Check your emails, check your junk mails. They're not junk. Remember, this is about investing in yourself in the future as well. And just, guys, there's more to win tomorrow. Even though the Empowering Women stage is not going to be here, the other two main stages are going to be live tomorrow, and we will be sitting there watching as well. And what I would say to you is get the best you out of this Best You weekend. Okay, it is just, you just can't put a price on personal development or business development. You cannot put time or a price on what you're going to get from this weekend. I've missed my daily walks, but I know I've grown in other ways over the weekend. So just weigh up everything about what you're putting out there into the universe, what you're attracting in. Be positive. Remember, there's thousands of talks and hundreds of training courses on the Best You online at the best www.bestyou.online. There is just so many out there, but we do thank you from the bottoms of our heart for joining us and being a part of the Best Expo Virtual Tour of London. And Ruth?
Yeah, I'm just going to bid you all a phenomenal night because it's going to continue tomorrow. Like Sarah said, we will be there with you watching, growing, and we just hope to see that some of you that have won these fantastic giveaways, we will get to see you on the platform live and in living colour. So, I'm just giving you goodwill, peace, love, and joy from the Liberty Coach.